Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live on Boxing Day for Manchester United against Aston Villa. Merry Christmas to you all. It is still Christmas. I mean, normally I'd be there on the turkey sandwiches, playing a bit of Monopoly and just chilling out. But you know what, I've got to say I'm actually really excited about this game tonight. I'm very happy about the team news. We're feeling festive and hopefully Santa's going to deliver us a bit of a present tonight, because I think that Manchester United are well overdue a result, and we've got some exciting team news as well. As you can see on the screen there, coming up for you, there is the change that I think I even called the video on preview. Maybe someone in the chat can check. I think I said in the video, he's got to drop McTominay. I didn't know whether he would. Ladios says it's good to be back. It is definitely good to be back. Don't see how we win today, this says Kay. It's going to be a difficult game. But, you know, it's been a difficult couple of days, really, hasn't it? But there's the United side. Onana in goal again. I don't necessarily agree with this, by the way. I mean, I'm going to be very consistent here. I don't know how many mistakes this guy is going to get to take. And maybe McTominay takes a bit of the heat away from Onana, if we're being really honest. Because I thought what he did on Saturday on that West Ham game, the way he ran out to Jared Bowen, was crap. And I thought, if that, you know, the way David De Gea got scrutinised last year, it amazes me how so many people scrutinised De Gea last year. And this guy is making ridiculous mistakes every week and there's no scrutiny at all. But it's not really a talking point, is it? He just gets away with it. Wan-Bissaka and Dalot as the fullbacks because Luke Shaw's got a minor knock. Varane's back with Evans. I think this is really important. Eriksen comes into the midfield with Mainu. I think this is probably the best midfield we could create. Amrabat's injured, Ariane, so we can't pick him. Bruno at number 10. I'll talk about that in a minute. I think it's really important. Garnacho on the left, Rashford back in on the right, and then Rasmus starts up front. And I think for me, I'm not massively concerned with that Manchester United lineup. I mean, there'll be a lot of people probably quite rightly saying, how the hell is Marcus Rashford starting games for Manchester United, especially when he put in such a pitiful performance at the weekend. I mean, he didn't deserve to start tonight, if we're being honest. It was a shockingly shameful performance from him in that cameo against West Ham. And I don't think Anthony's been as bad as some people think he is. But I don't know whether it's rotation. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. At the end of the day, the sooner Marcus Rashford starts scoring again, the better. We know he's not completely useless. And we know when he's scoring goals, he's a real asset to the team. So hopefully that's going to work. But obviously he's going to be playing on the right wing, which is not really where he wants to be playing anyway. So a few changes to the team, and I think you've got to do that. I think the McTominay one was well overdue. When you look at the bench that we've got out tonight, you've got Baynder on there, Reguilon's there, Kamwala's there, Gore, Hannibal, McTominay, Van der Beek, Pellistri and Anthony. Of course, Martial's been injured or ill for a long time. So the bench is pretty weak, really. But I'd say, in fairness, Scott McTominay is probably... Evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. If you've come over from the countdown to kick off, thank you very much for tuning in. It was a cracking show. I'll tell you what, because it's Christmas, I've had a little bit more time. So I was sat there with my Budweiser, watching Ricky and Faz have an argument, saying this is Christmas. This is better than watching some shit on BBC One. We're all here for a Hoyland hat trick, says Gustav. Welcome to the Members Club, Sam and Lemon. Thank you very much. And you said if you made mistakes, you'd stand by Onana. Given no, I didn't, Liv. I didn't. Sorry. I can carry on reading your super chat, but I didn't say that. I said we have to. I said for about a month. I said up until about a month ago I'd stick by Onana, but it's like sticking by Ten Hag. I think we shouldn't sack the manager, but we're Manchester United. Like, there gets to be a point where you can't defend anybody. And I think I've gone past that with Onana. I do. I think he costs us too many goals. I think his positional sense is terrible. But look, hopefully he'll get a clean sheet tonight. Hi, Mark. I'm looking to get a VPN. Do you still have a promo code waiting on Villa for my bet, says Kian? I don't. You'd have to go back and have a look at the Surfshark stuff, to be honest. Also, we've got a super chat coming in from Daily Hibbert. He says, evening, Mark. Do you think Sir Jim Ratcliffe will be in attendance? Not yet. I don't think he'll be in attendance yet. You know what? I don't even want to talk about the deal because it's just causing a lot of trouble. And you know, I think it's for a show for another day. I mean, I'm happy to touch on it a little bit, but not in any great depth. Do you think today is the day United shake off the bad home form and get a result against the top side finally? Well, look, we're going to have to take a look at the Villa side, but I also just want to have a quick look. Well, let's take a look at the Villa side there put that in there as well. So there's the Villa side for you. They've got a couple of people missing themselves. Matty Cash is suspended, so he can't play. They've got, I think Diaby's out as well. Kamara is suspended. So it's Martinez, Konza, Carlos, Longley and Digne. Bailey, Dendonka, Douglas Luiz, Ramsey, McGinn, Watkins. It's still a good side. They've still got a good side. And they've still got probably a better bench than us, you could argue, with Pau Torres on the bench and Zaniolo on the bench and Diaby on the bench. So you could argue that Villa have got a better team and a better bench, which is just a sign of the times for Manchester United at the moment. Brennan says, do you think today is the day United? Yeah, hopefully. And we're getting smashed tonight like me last night, Mark, says Tom Kent. Well, Merry Christmas. There we go. What I would say about this Christmas period is, I don't know what you've been up to, but I hope you've had a good one. I hope you're still having a good one. This week between Christmas and New Year, it's nice just to chill out, reflect and enjoy, and hopefully we can enjoy it tonight with United. But I must admit, I was at some family for Christmas this year. Back home now, obviously, but I was at family for Christmas and didn't leave until about 1 o'clock on Christmas Eve, on Sunday. Got to their house at about 2:30. And literally had a message saying they're going to announce the Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal at 4 o'clock. And I was like, I can't believe it. Like, I've just broken up for Christmas, only for a day and a half, and they're going to announce this Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal. You're having a fucking laugh. They were like, no. I said, put the mulled wine away. In fact, give me a pint of it. Where can I stream from? And I had to go and use the best room we could find in this, because they're out in the country where I was staying, which is why I ended up streaming from somewhere that looks like a barn, which is quite fitting on Christmas Eve. But you know what? I did think about it afterwards when I'd had a couple of pints down the pub, and I thought, you know what? I will actually remember this in future years. The Christmas Eve at 4 o'clock when the Glazers announced that they were selling 25%. And I just thought, this is Manchester United. I don't blame Sir Jim Ratcliffe for that. I blame the Glazers. At 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve. And nobody ever thinks about the staff that had to work. You know, the United staff that would have had to stay in work to do that on Christmas Eve. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. We've heard that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's going to look to get rid of a few hundred jobs. Well, I think there's certain Man United players that should go first. I mean, you know, you sack 200 or 300 people at Manchester United, what are you going to save? You know, I bet most of those people are probably on 30 grand a year. You've got some showers of shit who are on, 200 grand a week. If you want to make some cost-cutting exercises at Manchester United to Jim Ratcliffe, give us a call. I'll give you a list. I'll save you millions in a month, and you can keep some of them hard-working people who are going to be in a fucking cost-of-living crisis when you sack them because of for some of these greedy bastards that have been stuck at the club for years. These things need saying. They do. We're going to, hundreds of people are going to lose their jobs at Manchester United, and there's absolute pricks earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a week at this football club. Putting the Manchester back into Manchester, eh? Fuck off. Come on. Let's start calling some of this stuff out. It's not right. People in fear of losing their jobs. There's a lot of good people who work at Manchester United who get a bad reputation because of the pricks we have ruining this football club day in, day out, week in, week out, game in, game out. And as for moving away from Old Trafford, absolutely not. I know some people think, I want to stay to the art. I want to stay to the art stadium like the Bernabeu. No, Old Trafford is what Manchester United is all about. I don't care if I'm in the minority on this. Never in a million years. Never in a million years. You take us away from Old Trafford, you may as well fucking start a new football club. I don't care if the roof's leaking. Get a new roof. I don't care if it's going to cost a little bit more. It's Old Trafford. It's Manchester United. Like, some things are worth more than money. Mandy says, I hope you've had a good Christmas. Let's hope for a better New Year. Let's hope we can win tonight. At least McTominay's on the bench, says Mandy. Merry Christmas, Mark. Half cut, but just finished work. Acid says, where can I drop you a big email? That's too big for a super chat regarding United. Says Acid. You could try email, yeah. Hi, Mark. Can't believe at this time Villa are favourites against United, but I'm optimistic. Hope our start at 350k a week start playing some football, says Moin. Can you say a nice message to my mate Logan? He's one of the biggest Glazers supporters I know, says BCR. Yeah, I ain't going to say nothing nice to him. What else have we got? A few super chats. Hi, Mark. Can you wish Mr. Chris Bean A very Merry Christmas, says MBG. Well, a Merry Christmas to Chris and a Merry Christmas to everybody else. And Matt says, if my car had 4 punctured tyres and I fixed one of them, my car is still a mess and no Amrabat. Apparently Amrabat's got a knock, Matt. And do you think with Sir Jim now in power we'll get a new owner bounce from the players, says Matt? We might do. Look, we might do. There has been a lot of instability at Manchester United, and nobody can deny that. So maybe we do get a bit of a bounce today. I mean, I'm looking at Erik ten Hag there, walking past the crowd, and they're all waving. He's smiling. I mean, he's just lost 2-0 to West Ham. You know, we're playing absolutely shit, and the crowd are smiling at him and clapping him. I think that's a good thing. But, you know, it just shows you that there is a way back. There is a way back for Ten Hag, and... Look, I think the biggest thing for me is Scott McTominay not starting. How do you know Mainoo will get on without McTominay's cover? Says Mister. What covers this from Scott McTominay then? Running around in his Harry Potter invisibility cloak. I think we'll be absolutely fine. I think Mainoo will be a lot better with Eriksen next to him. Liverpool have beaten Burnley 2-0, by the way, if you're interested in that. That game is just about finished. What else have we got for you? Okay. All right. Just forgot, I'm wearing my top. It's Christmas time. It's Boohoo Man. We've got a bit of trivia for you as well in relation to this. But as always, Boohoo Man sponsoring the show. You can get your discount with them with the code Goldbridge. Links in the description, or you can scan that QR code next to me. Fantastic clothing. I'm wearing one of their hoodies now. I like to wear this on the evening watch-alongs because it's got a nice lining to it. It keeps me nice and warm. Gym wear for the new year, if you're going to be one of those prats who go down the gym for about 3 weeks and then give up, or, you know, if you're a normal gym wear, five-side wear, relaxing in the living room wear, which is what I was doing this afternoon. I was watching Beauty and the Beast, which is a bit like watching... no, let's not do any football analogies. Anyway, of course, Boohoo Man have got an extra 10% discount when you use the code Goalbridge. This is in addition to their site-wide 70% discount, meaning you can get up to 77% off with that code Goalbridge. Check it out. But we've also got a bit of trivia for you as well. So can you guess the player? I was born on the 26th of February 1973. On July 29th, 1996, I joined United from Mulder for a fee of 1.5 million. If you haven't got this now, you're an idiot. I was the only goal scorer during the last time United played Villa on Boxing Day in the year 2000. It's not Jarvis Cocker. During my time at United, I played 235 games and scored 91 goals. I left United when I retired in 2007, and I came back to manage the club from 2018 to 2021. Of course, it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who for some reason always reminds me of Christmas. Is it because of his elfish looks, or is it because he's Norwegian? I don't know, but always reminds me of Christmas, Ollie, which I think is a good thing. And remember, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a legend of this football club. Just ignore the management part of it. Yes, it's not Ralph Rangnick. Right, I hope you're all doing very well. Cheers, everybody. I needed to swill there because I've got peanuts stuck up the side of my mouth. I hope you had a good Christmas, Mark. Just watch the live show. Hope you do one in Birmingham next year, says Ashley. Yeah, remember, if you are a member of the club, the United Stand, you'll see people with badges in their name, next to their name. That means they're a member. Our Christmas show that we did a couple of weeks ago in Manchester is now available on the members section. There's 2 shows there, the first half and the second half. I think they're about an hour long each way. So if you want to become a member, click the join button, support the channel. It's very appreciated. You can do that by doing that. But look, I think the biggest thing about United today, and I'm going to put the team back on the screen here. The biggest thing for me today for Manchester United. Now, remember, Newcastle have just lost. Newcastle have just lost to Forest at home. So, you know, Ten Hag's probably a little bit. Reb, welcome to the members club. You're a legend. And Kim, Reb and Kim, thank you very much. But you know what? I think the biggest thing for me today is that he's dropped Scott McTominay. And in some ways, this is a bit of a... If you wanted McTominay to be dropped like me, it's reputation on the line a little bit. Because, I mean, obviously, I'm not in control of how the players play. But the balance should be better. And therefore we should play better. But one thing that some people might not appreciate, and I certainly do, is that it's not just McTominay being dropped because he does nothing unless he scores a goal. It's also Scott McTominay being dropped that allows our number 8 to stay in his position. Because when McTominay plays, he wants to be close to Højlund. I think if this works well today, this could benefit 3 players. Mainoo will get more support from Eriksen. Bruno will be playing in the number 10 role, and Højlund won't have somebody running around in the spaces he wants to. So I think that by dropping McTominay, it will benefit Bruno, who will be told to stay in the number 10 position instead of tracking back all the time. Eriksen giving more stability to Mainoo and experience, and Højlund not having somebody in his space all the time. But of course, Rashford's back in the team, Garnacho's in the team. He had no service at the weekend. Will they provide him with service today? And that's another question as well. DJ says there's no sign of Amrabat. I would have loved that cover. Amrabat is injured, mate. Tom says, Mark, there's a thriller buzz off your top. Hopefully this won't be a horror show. You're right. You're right. Well thought. And Broken Pig says, hi, Mark. Do you think Erik ten Hag is not playing CDM so he can slot Mason Mount back in when Bruno when he comes back? Happy Boxing Day, says Broken Pig. Yeah, look, I think Mason Mount obviously will be brought back into the team at some point. I think Erik ten Hag watches these streams. McTominay drops, says Reb. And, I've got to say, I was surprised he dropped him. I am surprised he's dropped in. I mean, I've been very surprised he's been picking him. But I was very surprised he dropped him because he's been very stubborn with picking him. It surprises me how often he's been picking him recently. But, I've got to say, I'm very, very happy about it because it's nothing personal. I actually think McTominay's in the best place he should be, which is last 20 minutes of the game. Maybe pop him on for a goal like he did against Brentford. I think that's where McTominay belongs, in my opinion. Who's the one player you'd sign to make an impact, says Matt? I mean, I think at the moment, Todibo would be an interesting one. Now that we've got the deal done with Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Nice, it seems to me to be a little bit stupid not to do that not to do that deal. I don't think there's really a deal in January that's going to make a hell of a lot of difference to us, if I'm being honest. Dad watches every day. Give Sean a shout out, says Ashley. Big shout out to Sean. Is the volume of knocks we get concerning, says Reb? Of course it is. There's so many people missing games at the moment, and obviously it has an impact in relation to continuity. But it's great to see Christian Eriksen back in the side. Not to say that he's been playing that well recently, but it's great to have someone like Christian Eriksen back because it allows you, if Eriksen hadn't been back today, then there is no Amrabat, so we'd have to pick McTominay again. So, it's very important. Welcome to the Members Club, Toot. Hope you're doing well. Addy's been a member for 16 months. Merry Christmas from Canada, he says. Thank you very much. Acid23 says, Mark, what's better, Soccerbox, MG, or Gmail? That's football. Soccerbox, please, Acid. Reb, we've done as well. Tony in January would be the one, says everything up. No, not got the money, mate. Not got the money for that sort of deal, really. Few people talking about the Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal, probably because James Ducker's just been on Amazon talking about it. Look, very, very simple situation for me. Weird situation in the fan base. Most fans have been shouting Glazers out and Full Sail for 12 months. They've suddenly changed their mind. Some of them suddenly are like, if you are not happy with this deal, you need to sod off with Qatar. And I don't get that. I don't get that. So we've all been saying Glazers out and Full Sail for 12 months. And now Sir Jim's bought 25% and the Glazers are staying. If you moan about it, you need to piss off with Qatar. That's basically their argument. I had people on Christmas Day yesterday. I'm playing football, in living room football with my family and, eating good food, having a good laugh, playing the chase board game and stuff like that. There's people sat at home tweeting about me. I mean, in a way, it's a compliment, but in a way, it's really, really sad. And a few of them were like tweeting, we need to get this toxic idiot out of our fan base being negative about the Sir Jim deal. And I thought, I bet I don't even need to go that far in their timeline for seeing them going, Glazers out, Full Sail only. Idiots. Absolute idiots. I want the Sir Jim Ratcliffe deal to work and end up being a full sale and Man United to go back to the top of English football and European football. That is what I want. But if you think for 1 minute I'm going to be a lemming and jump off the cliff, or a rat and follow the Pied Piper, you're very much mistaken. And that's going to be most people. What in this deal makes you think, oh, forget the Glazers full sale and Glazers out? This sounds like a great deal. It doesn't sound like a great deal. It might be a pathway to a great deal, but it doesn't sound like a great deal. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to get all excited and happy and follow the PR around something that is greyer than a cloudy day. I don't know where we're going with this. What I suspect is going to happen is the Glazers are going to stay for a very, very long time as the majority owner of this football club. And if Sir Jim Ratcliffe does well running the football side, he still doesn't own the football club. He's like a paid CEO. And what's his ceiling? What's the ceiling of what Sir Jim Ratcliffe is willing to put into that football club to take it where it has to go? I think this club needs £4 or £5 billion spending on it. Is Sir Jim Ratcliffe going to spend £4 or £5 billion on a club he only owns 25% of? I think he wants to take us back to the top, but I don't know the pathway. So at the moment, I'm cynical, I'm dubious, and I'm doing a watching brief. Now, if that's a problem for people, that's a problem. But I think even people like Sir Jim Ratcliffe would respect that stance that trust must be earned. And at the moment, it's very difficult to see where we're going to end up going. But look, let's wait and see. Would you ever had Ben Foster on a watch-along, says Jace? It's not something we're planning on doing. I don't think Ben really likes doing watch-alongs. Is your nephew's internet still as fast as a dead frog, Mark? Only Ole Gunnar Solskjaer remember that Newcastle watch-along, says Juan. Yep, same place. And Alex says, has there been any news on the Sancho situation? Like where he's going, if it's going to be a full set loan or situation? I think, Alex, what's the date today? I think this time next week we'll start to get more on Sancho. But this time now, all we can focus on is Manchester United and this amazingly difficult game, is what I would describe it as. It's a difficult game. I mean, respect to Aston Villa. You look at that league table, and this is what we're talking about. Look at that league table. We could be 9th tomorrow, on Thursday. Sorry, Brighton don't play till Thursday. We could be 9th. If we win tonight, we can go back up to 6th. So, but look at Villa. Win tonight. They're not going to be top because Liverpool have won, but that's what they're playing for. This is a ridiculously hard game for us tonight. Ridiculously hard. And maybe, you know, maybe we're all overloaded with turkey or drink or God knows what else. You know, it's weird. It's a weird time of year, isn't it? And we're living, you know, 2 weeks ago, most of you at work, university, school, living your normal life on a Tuesday night, you know, this feels normal. We've just had Christmas Eve announced at 4 o'clock that we've got a new owner. It's Boxing Day at 8 o'clock. You know, it's not the most usual time to have a football game, and yet we're playing this massive game. Alex says, we've done that one from Alex as well. And Hayden says, does Luke Shaw have a knock or was he just dropped? Hayden, Luke Shaw's got a knock and Amrabat's got a knock. They would both be on the bench if they were available. United have got to turn up, says Chris. And look, I think, I don't know what I said in the preview. I've consumed quite a bit of food and alcohol since then. But my feeling is that Manchester United get a 1-0 win. When does the debt get transferred to Ineos? That will never happen. No, that's not going to happen, Sash. That's not going to happen. Never going to happen. Thanks for all your super chats tonight, by the way. Very generous. Merry Christmas to everybody. Let us know what your thoughts on the score is going to be. Look. When I look at that Manchester United side, we've got to get hold of that midfield. In fact, I'm going to make a few notes about this because I think that it's really going to come down to the midfield. I've said that you know, I've said it a few times that the midfield is where it's all about. I spoke about it on the preview about we're the only team in the Premier League really that doesn't take care of the ball and doesn't seem to have any pattern of play. I think Man United play on vibes. You know, we play vibe football where no one really seems to know where anybody is. There's no chemistry. There's no patterns of play with Man United. It's all just on the edge. You know, let's see what happens. And the trouble is, we're against a team today that plays a high line and they know what they're doing. So I think that the game will be won and lost in the midfield. Now, they haven't got Kamara, so it's not McGinn, Luis and Kamara. It's Dendoncker, Luis and McGinn. I don't think that Dendonker's anywhere near as mobile as Kamara. So there's an opportunity in that midfield. And also, I think we're better with Eriksen and Bruno playing more advanced. Rashford's got to step up. Mentality has to step up. And can I just say this? In fact, I will. You don't need to ask, Mark. Can I just say that if we were to lose tonight and then we lost to Forest at the weekend, even I'd be saying, you know, look, it's starting to look very dodgy. United can only win with 2 defensive midfielders. I'm worried about that midfield, says Ewan. Well, it's the only midfield we can put out, really, because you can't really play Scott McTominay in that position, can you? Really, he's not going to. He just can't play that position. So yeah. But it's going to be an interesting one, I think. It's going to be very interesting. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, because we've hit. I think we have hit, or we're very close to hitting 1.8 million, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. Very, very happy about that, and looking forward to on the road to 2 million. You know, the biggest independent football channel in the world, and you're all very welcome being part of it. So please do subscribe. Live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 o'clock with the news. We'll be back tomorrow as normal, in normal surroundings. But yeah, look, I just really would. I know I said the same about the. I said exactly the same about the West Ham game at the weekend, but for tonight, it would, you know, be a big statement win for Manchester United to go and beat an Aston Villa side that is so hungry and so ready for this as well. I think it's a fascinating one, and I'm certainly very interested to see how we get on tonight, because I think there's just so many ramifications if it doesn't go the way we want it to go, really. The Ripper has just gifted 10 memberships, by the way. Absolute legend. And Reb has just gifted 5 memberships. So very, very generous of you. Thank you very much, lads. And thank you for doing that. And welcome to the Members Club. The new members, make sure you say thank you to Reb and Ripper. Very generous this festive season. Thank you, lads. Mark, I'm at Old Trafford for the first time in about 14 years. There's no atmosphere at all, and all I can hear is Villa fans. I hate what the Glazers have done, says Rob. And I'm watching the United stand for the first time with my nephew, so hopefully it's a good result, says Mello. Hopefully you are a lucky watcher. And we need to start building some momentum to carry us through the rest of the season. Keep it, United stand team. Best wishes to you all, says Aidsa. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Legends. I've got so many people who are Villa fans messaging me as well, which is, you know, typical really. But there we go. My score prediction's 1-0 to United. With Liverpool winning Burnley early, Man United have the challenge of beating a great Aston Villa side, says Marnius. Eriksen is not defensive-minded. We're going to get pasted, says Steve. But I think people forget, when people take a pop at Eriksen, I think people are forgetting that you've got a goalkeeper. Is anyone else watching it on Prime and got an interview with a Villa player on at the moment? This game's meant to be kicking off. Who else has got a Villa player talking and it's 7:59? Am I like 20 minutes behind here, or is anyone else watching this clip of a Villa player talking? Has anyone else got a Villa player? Oh, I don't know what's going on with mine then. It's just miles behind. Refresh, yeah. Oh, I know what I've done. I've gone to resume. You're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I've gone to resume. Knobhead. I'm going to miss the start of the game here. Watch live. That's what I want to do. There we go. Johnny Evans. That's what I want. That's what I want. What a prat. Can't listen to Gabby running his mouth off today. United better show up the Reds, says Kay. Mark Maino is a lone CDM, again with one lung. Ericsson, says Sharath. Hi, Mark. Hope you and the United stand have a good community, says Daniel. Had a good Christmas. Thank you, Daniel. And also, welcome to the Members Club. Connor, you're a legend. K-Flow has gifted 5 memberships, as well as Reb and the Ripper, legends of the chat. We're just about to start here, so let me get the timer ready for you, which I'm not going to do. Yes, I will. I just need to change the colour. Okay, ready to go. Referee blows it off. Taking the knee. Not seen that for a while. Don't know why we're doing that. Well, I do know why they do it, but I don't know why they're back doing it for today. And we're off. There we go. Excuse my ignorance on that. I don't know. But we're off and running. Thank you very much to Kay. And welcome to the Members Club, Michael Franco as well. We've had a gifted membership from Man United Fan for Life. You're a legend. Andrew says, no, you can play 2 advanced midfielders and a defensive midfielder if you don't have a box-to-box to chip in all over the pitch, says Andrew. And Mark Scott says, 0 confidence. This could be a really bad loss. Well, let's see how it goes for the first few minutes. What I would say about Christian Eriksen is where people are going to get this wrong. And Garnacho's playing off the right-hand side, Rashford back on the left. So, you know, plays absolutely shit up front and then wins his place back on the left. And you tell me there's no player power at Man United. What has he done to win his place back on the left? It's madness. Absolute madness. Graham Souness, thank you very much. Gifts 5 memberships. Alex says, I'm planning a trip with my dad to see a game for the first time. When would you recommend to see a game during the season, says Alex Whitmore. Well, I'd go and watch any game, mate. If it's your first time. I couldn't recommend a Man United game now because I feel like you're almost asking me what's a good game to go and watch United play. And as we've seen this season, United can play shit against anyone. You never know when they're going to play well. Pot luck. Just go and enjoy it. So Garnacho's been moved to the right wing. Rashford's got his place back on the left wing. Graham Souness has gifted 5 memberships. I've played the game. Thank you very much. I think that people are giving Eriksen a little bit of unfair stick here because Christian Eriksen has played that role last season with Casemiro. So he knows how to drop in. I mean, at the moment, Deleu's dropped into the midfield in this inverted position thing. And we've split the centre-backs. I mean, remember, we've got Rafael Varane back tonight as well. Which is a massive improvement for us. But no, I wouldn't compare Christian Eriksen to Scott McTominay. Christian Eriksen has played this role before. And... But do I think Ten Hag's going to abandon this trying to play with 2 attacking midfielders? No, because I think that's what he bought Mason Mount for. Shouldn't Anthony be starting on the right, says Merck. Darren Ferguson, thank you very much for your chat. And Fernham says, if Anthony plays on the left, might force him to cross. Well, I don't pick the team. I don't really understand what Marcus Rashford's done to win his place back on the left. He's actually played worse recently. But look, the midfield's better. That's the main thing. And you never know with Rashford. If he starts scoring, then things could get better. No Matty Cash as well. So maybe they're looking to exploit the right back position with Rashford's pace. But Villa there with a shot blocked, I think, by Johnny Evans. Yeah, you've got to get the crowd up first. That's the main thing. Swanee says, should be a penalty. Don't know what you're talking about, Swanee. I need a stretch. I don't know whether I had my stretch before. "5-0 to Villa," says the Mighty Reds. Well, I'm never going to say you're having a laugh because that's where you make a mistake and get clipped. But Deleu playing left back. No Luke Shaw. He's got a knock. So Dalot's at left back and Wan-Bissaka's playing at right back. Who knows what we're going to get with United? I don't watch us with any conviction of confidence anymore. Now the players will try for the new bosses, says Bogdan. That's going to go out for a goal kick. Mark, you look scared, says Ben. Well, it's a tough game. It is a tough game for United tonight. I'm not going to lie about it. Emery's done a great job at Aston Villa. I don't think they're as good away from home as they are at home, but and it's a tough game for Manchester United tonight. It's a tough game. I'm telling you now. No jinx bridge tonight. Let's keep it safe, says Jim. I'm not jinxing anything. I'm not jinxing anything. If you look at the XG, I don't know why I'm doing Sean Dyche. The problem with tonight will be is that Villa are playing very, very well and Man United haven't played well all season. So you're up against the team that is the favourites. There's no surprise if Aston Villa come here and win. I think when you lose to Bournemouth, there's a surprise. I think when you lose to West Ham, there's a bit of a surprise. But when you play in Aston Villa, they're a good side. And more importantly, they're a good side because they're well drilled and they know everybody's job. So United don't know everybody's job. I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Anyone out there love turkey sandwiches? Cold turkey sandwiches. I love them. I bloody love them, I do. Onana with a shit kick. If I speak, I'm in trouble about Onana. Genuinely starting to have major concerns about whether he's going to be any good. I had a dream of a dinner tonight. It was I cooked some more of my favourite stuffing. We had pigs in blankets, a ham, chips, shredded Brussels sprouts with pancetta, and cranberry sauce. It was lovely, absolutely lovely. First time in my life I've chose not to watch. Sad, says Keenan. Oh, hold on. Oh, no, he's lost it. Hoyland. I need to write this down, actually. There's a few things that I need to write down about the start. And Jamali says that Rashford's going to score today. I hope so. Digne whipping a cross in. Dalot does well. Amrabat's got a bit of a knock, Yusuf, and so has Luke Shaw. Remember, we got Forest on Saturday at the City Ground. They've just won 3-1 at Newcastle today, so that's not going to be an easy game. Alanga's doing well at the moment as well. I think we'll get rid of Rashford this January or summer, says Duckbury. No. No, I don't. Positive of Eriksen over McTominay is keeping and showing for the ball over. If he does, he won't be able to because he's defensive minded. Says Common Human. Love live wanted a Foster versus Beth goalkeeper showdown, says Catherine. And hello Mark, my son Callum is a big follower of yours, says Darren. Big shout out to Callum. Corner to Villa. They've messed that up. And United just boot it clear. Merry Christmas, Mark. I'll say it, Onana is not a ball-playing goalkeeper, says Andy. I mean, the thing is, Andy, he actually is, but... Rashford tried to play it into Hoyland. Bad control. I think Ten Hag must have had a falling out with Van der Beek when Donny left Ajax. Only thing I can think of as to why he doesn't play him, says Easy. And so now that people can see a style of player, I wonder if they're still going to moan, says Yazza. Hoyland is going to score today, says Paul. I will love it if Hoyland scores today. Absolutely love it. Well done, Eriksen. Come on. Rasmus into Garnacho. First touch was bad there. First touch from Garnacho there's bad. He's come inside too early. He needed to let it go wide a bit. Killen says, why has he put an out-of-form player in Rashford and Garnacho out of position to the right rather than actual right winger, says Killen. Maybe Anthony's got an injury, I don't know. Noel says, I'd just love it if anyone scored. Noel's not picky. Anything will do. Yeah, of course, Newcastle got hammered by Wood today. Hat-trick there. Right, here's Garnacho. Mainu just looking to slow this down a little bit, have a bit of possession. I'm all for that. Nice ball out by Varane. Here's Rashford. Nice ball to Delo. Lot of bad first touches from United tonight so far, what I've noticed. It's a wild cross that. Comes to the edge of the box. Ericsson! Ooh, I tell you what, he caught that well. Straight at the goalkeeper, though. Good technique by Ericsson. He's actually, you know, it's almost impossible to shoot from here on the edge of the box, but he gets a really good connection straight at the goalkeeper. Savage is quite happy with the start. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. I think we've hit 1.8 million, but here's Bailey. Unmarked. Skips across. Good block by Johnny Evans. The cutback was there. Why did we sell Alanga? He's better than all our attacking players. I don't agree with that, Willie. I think that's just recency bias at a team where there's no pressure. I don't think Alanga is going to get picked up by anybody in the top half of the table, if I'm being honest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't. Alex says, I wanted to wish you, your family, and the entire United Stand crew a very Merry Christmas. So I appreciate for this community and what you all do. Alec, you're a legend. Thank you very much for your super chat. Cross comes in and Arna punches it away. Bit of pressure here. Cross comes back in, headed away. Got to win these 50-50s. $11 minutes gone. Let's have a look at the stats here. Remember, our stats carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. You can download it for free through the link in the description or by scanning the QR code in the top right-hand corner. 50-50 for possession. No shots on target for Villa. We've had that one from Ericsson. Here's Rashford. What's he going to do? Cuts inside. Little back heel. Didn't work. I thought he was going to shoot, actually. Villa have won it back. Yeah, you can get all your latest breaking football news, transfer news on OneFootball, especially with January coming up. Plus, they do individual player stats as well. So if you want to see how many passes have been completed by Ericsson, etc., or lost the ball, etc., check that out on the OneFootball app for free. Links in the description, or scan the QR code. Big shout out to them. Araki says, Højlund cosplaying as Wout Weghorst, and the midfield, that's all. We need two holding midfielders. They are bypassing the midfield with ease, says Bryce Jones. Well played by Varane again. Garnacho does well into Delo. I like the way Delo is getting forward and overlapping a lot at the moment. Delo's had a great start, says Liam. Exactly, I've noticed that. Hi Mark, had surgery this time last year. Just want to wish you and the United Stand community a very Merry Christmas, says the Beast. Your videos always kept me spirits up during a tough time. Let's hope United get a win today. I'm glad to hear the recovery's gone well, the Beast. Thank you very much for your super chat. Who's the ref? I think it's that Craig Pawson, isn't it? He's a good player, you know, Douglas Luiz. Arsenal want him. Christian's a member. He says, Merry Christmas. I want Garnacho and Højlund to score. I don't care who scores. I mean, we haven't scored for 4 games. That's a very important thing to say. It's Christmas and I am on it tonight. I make no apologies. Normally Boxing Day night, I'll be spending it with family and friends. I do have some. So I'm spending it with friends tonight and you're them. So cheers everybody. Let's hope United can get a result. Lovely play here between Højlund and Garnacho. And now it's going to cut. He's got to look here, Garnacho. Where's he going to go? Passes it into Eriksen. Lets it go to Rashford. Lay it off to Bruno. Lay it off to Bruno. Fucking lay it off to Bruno quicker than that. Højlund. Oh, it was Eriksen. That was good play by United. Good play. Højlund, Bruno, Garnacho, and then I think Rashford needed to lay that off first time to Bruno. It slowed the move down. Had lovely turkey sarnie today, Mark, with the stuffing and cranberry was top notch and a nice glass of Merlot. David, that sounds fantastic. I've got a few bottles of Merlot for Christmas, and I'm looking forward to getting into them. But yeah, turkey sandwich and a glass of Merlot. Whoa, bit of cranberry. Maybe get the cheese out. Sophistication. Hi, Mark. Hope you had a good Christmas. What was your favourite present? Thanks for all you do, says Marcus. If I get time, I'll go and get it for you. Villa on the attack. Cut back. Well done, Mainu. I've gone United to win this 1-0, by the way. See, Bruno's playing too. Bruno's doing everything again. All I want from Christmas is Bruno to play as a fucking number 10. Just stay in the number 10 position. You know why he's picked Rashford? I said it in the preview. You know why he's picked Rashford? Pace. Villa play a high line. That's the only reason he's done this. It's Rashford for high line pace. Villa play a ridiculously high line. So what do Man United like to do? Long ball transition. Who's the quickest player in the team? Rashford. So that's why we're doing this. Hope you had a great Christmas, Mark, and the United Stand chat, says Fennick. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in, by the way. If you've managed to get away for a couple of hours from whatever you're doing, well done. Appreciate it. Corner to Villa here. Masson says that Rashford's body language is awful. Corner comes in, headed away. What's your opinion on Rashford's haircut, says Matt. I don't get involved in that sort of stuff. Oh no. Terrible short pass there by Delo. This is, oh, great interception by Johnny Evans. He's having a good game, Evans. And there's that long ball. Yeah, it was a mistake by Delo, that. People are moaning that we picked a player for pace. We picked McTominay for height. I've played the game. I've played the game. There they go. They're in down the left-hand side. You've got to get closer to him, Mainu. And again, and again. Well done, Varane. What's your favourite aftershave, says David. It's in a green bottle. And I never remember the name. It's in a green bottle. I think it's Versace. And I can't remember what the name is. It's not bloody Old Spice, Rich. Can anyone... Here's one for you. Who remembers Insignia aftershave? I remember that was cheap as chips when I was growing up. Loads of people used to have Insignia. Talking about my age there, though. We also picked McTominay for his heart and passion, says Thomas. It's Eros. It's Versace Eros. That's it, Philip. It's bloody lovely, and I get loads of compliments with it. Loads of compliments with it. In fact, when I was doing the Manchester show and I was queuing up giving everyone a photo for about an hour, I don't want to take the praise for the work I do for the community, but after doing a 2-hour show, I stood for another hour doing photos for people. I only charged £10 a photo. I didn't charge anything. A lot of people said, you smell really nice, and I was wearing Versace Eros that night. It's very good. Very good. Hi, Mark. Hope you and your family had a good Christmas. Let's hope United get a win today, this last game. That night, that's a nice tracksuit top you've got on. Boohoo Man. Boohoo Man. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description and use the code Goldbridge. You'll get a discount on everything they've got on the site. Loads of stuff on there, well priced. Rich Summer says, Rashford's acting like a spoilt toddler who didn't get enough for Christmas. Bruno twice ignored a Rashford through ball. Can't convince me they haven't fallen out, says 58 Go. Well, he didn't, and Rashford didn't pass it to him quick enough. Dean says, I started watching the channel when Ronaldo came home. Still miss him sometimes. I hope United will do better soon. Thanks for supporting the channel, mate. You're a legend. Here we go. John McGinn's got a chance to whip a cross in here. If we think about it, how many players on their way to becoming top class have had as many mistakes in a season as Onana has had in half? Odds don't look good, says Dowell. Cross comes in. Right on the keeper. Oh, for fuck's sake. Get rid of this goalkeeper, for God's sake. Can I speak? Can I speak? Am I allowed to speak about this? Because every time I say it about him, I get criticised. He's like the Invisible Man. Bloody hell. If they did a sequel to Ghost, he would be in it. With Scott McTominay. He's bloody invisible on crosses. It's like bloody Dracula. He runs away. What's going on there? And, you know, I can't believe this keeper. I cannot believe this keeper. He's absolutely dreadful on crosses. Bloody hell. It's just there right in front of him. What is he doing? I can't believe the goals he lets in. I can't believe the goals he lets in. As a goalkeeper, right, I had goalkeeping training when I was 17. I spend time with Ben Foster and Watto. Watto used to be England goalkeeping coach. But when the cross goes in like that, people will say, well, he doesn't know where it's going to go, Mark. They tell you, if you follow the ball and someone gets in front of you and knocks it in the other corner, you can't be blamed. But if the ball goes straight in, and you've not anticipated that ball might not get a touch on it, it's your fault. Every bloody time. How many goals has he cost us this season? It's shocking, mate. I'm sorry. I try not to, because apparently I'm picking on him. Fucking useless. What is going on the training pitch? I said in the preview he needs to be dropped for Bienda. Like, he's costing us soft goals all the fucking time. How many crosses has he let in where he doesn't even save the ball when it goes its normal trajectory? HBN says Bailey got in his head. Well, Bailey got in his head, whatever. Rashford never passes the ball but loses his mind when he doesn't get passed to, says Daniel. Onana is such a bad decision by Ten Hag. Never made that set. Look, Chris. Apparently, you know this shit I got at the end of last season because I said we shouldn't have replaced De Gea. You know what I said about that. You can't win games. How are you supposed to win games when your goalkeeper's giving goals look like this? It's time to be more vocal about this. Onana out, says Sebastian. I've been saying for a couple of games now I'd drop him. The mistakes are ridiculous. My favourite aftershave is Sex Panther. It works 60% of the time, says Concha. And Anna is such a bad... We've done that one from Chris. Fucking joke. You know what? Actually, I missed a bloody good line there. You know what we should call an Anna, just for tonight only? Santa Claus. Because that's a fucking gift to Aston Villa. That is an absolute gift. Santa Claus FC in goal. Bloody hell. I don't get it. I don't get why we keep picking players who are not good enough when there are viable options. He's off to the AFCON next month. Just pick fucking Bienda. Name one sizing this season that's working, says Barry. Well, look, I know you're talking about Højlund. Højlund in the Champions League worked. Premier League, it's not working. Are we getting paid more to keep a blind keeper, says Connor. Look, the big problem I have with that is if I'm in goal and the ball's coming towards me and no one gets a touch on it and I let it in, I'm a prat. If someone gets a little deflection on it and I make a save, it's world class. But if no one gets a deflection on it and it goes in, I'm a prat. There's no excuse for that. As a goalkeeper, you follow the trajectory of the ball and you save it. If you follow the trajectory and then just before 2-0, fucking hell. What the fuck? That defence is wet, wet, wet. Someone get Marty Pello on the line. This is wet, wet, wet. This is downing tools. Drowning in their own fucking tears. Wet, 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 wet. Bloody hell. Wetter than a mermaid's chuff. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Down in the tools again. Cowards. And here he is, Santa Claus in goal again. I've got more presents in my sack. What's going on with this cross? Fucking hell. You know what? I reckon he's on tag, Anana. He never leaves his fucking line. Have you noticed how he never leaves his line? He's always stood on his line. He should be dominating that 6-yard box. Stood on his fucking line again. An Arna clause. I wish there was a bloody clause. I wish it was an Arna clause, because if there's a clause to send him back, I bloody would do. Fucking hell. Well, you can't do that against Aston Villa. You can't do this against Aston Villa. You just can't do it. Fucking gift. We wear red. We may as well put a fucking Santa hat on. Justin thinks the game's over. Well, mate, it could be. It bloody well could be. I mean, you just cannot concede goals like that against teams like this. You can't gift them a start like that. Has Onana finally surpassed Sanchez as our worst ever signing, says Jimbo. We bought a ball-playing goalkeeper and got rid of the shot stopper when our team can only play lump ball, says Christopher. We're watching Ten Hag's sack sentence being signed, says Iraqi. Well, I've never even thought about that, mate, because I'm just in shock about how shit we are. I mean, Villa will be absolutely ecstatic here. Absolutely ecstatic, because really, they're 2-0 up and they've done very little for it. Anil says Bruno's going to start Hollywood passes. But you know what? Taking it away from the goalkeeper for a moment, how many times does this team concede a goal and down tools? We've seen it all season. All season. Would you swap Onana for Pickford, says Blue Nose. Mate, I'd swap him for Harry Potter. You know, he's rubbish. At the moment, he is absolutely rubbish. And I don't really understand it. Mary Earps and half the women's team should get a game. What a sorry state, says Stephen. I only feel bad for Bruno, man. Creates many chances and puts so much effort in, says Ibrahim. They're not white shorts, they're white flags, says Dance. Eric Ten Hag, lineup doesn't matter when we still look disjointed. Players look lost, and it's been like it all season. Clearly, manager's going to go, says Suleiman. Lots of other guys just standing around on the crosses as well. They're all shit, says Alex. And it's like Eric Ten Hag wants the sack. The whole team, including the manager, are downing tools, says Omar. Mate, I've said it before. These players are shithouses. They really are. Not all of them. I mean, there's 2 or 3 of them probably 4 of them, 5 of them. But there's a few in there that are just absolute shithouses. They can't be arsed. They can't be arsed. Some of them are not good enough as well. But yeah, this should be 0-0. This game should be 0-0. Both of those goals are just dreadful. They're dreadful goals. Good ball by Ericsson. What the fuck is Bruno? What's Bruno doing there? Why is he shooting from there? Why are you not getting it? You're in a one-on-one, mate. It's probably onside. Why? You're onside by 10 yards. That's just petulant from Bruno. That is petulant. He's onside by 10 fucking yards. Miscontrols it and then shoots. Daniel says, on the Anana, the ghost when he gets dropped, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids. Bloody joke. Not just him, but all of them. Happy Christmas, says Daniel. Here's Rashford. Oh, straight at the keeper. Happy holidays, Bridge. I decided to put you on while I do my all change, but I'm going to have to go if we keep gifting goals, says David. Watch Ten Hag say we played a good game and we're dominant after the game, says Space. Mate, there's too long in this game for us to be bloody downing tools. It's section defence without knowing what section they are in, a lack of communication, says Connor. When are we getting rid of this crap manager and his useless goalkeeper? I've never seen such a useless goalkeeper, says Mike. Beyinda on at half-time, please, says Chunky. Gotten to where I was with Rangnick at the end. Genuinely can't stomach watching games anymore. It's so terrible, says Paul. Look, I don't want to say I told you so, but I seem to say this all the time. I said about David De Gea, you don't get rid of a player like David De Gea when he's still in his early 30s. He's been here for 10 years. He knows the club like the back of his hand. He knows the pressure of being a Man United goalkeeper, and he's one of the best shot stoppers in Europe. You don't get that. You don't do that change. Here's Garnacho. Gets the cross wrong. The pressure of being a Man United goalkeeper is immense, and it sinks many, many people. This is better from United, but Villa aren't going to give up, and they've got a break. And what's going on here? Late on Garnacho. What's going on here? We could do with a red card. No, it's not a red card. It's just a foul. It's just a foul. But you know what? I don't like that. I don't like people who say I told you so, because everyone's entitled to an opinion. But I knew that replacing David De Gea for a new goalkeeper was dangerous, no matter who the goalkeeper is, because you can play well for Inter Milan, you can play well for Porto, you can play well for Everton, but being a Man United goalkeeper, we've seen it before when Schmeichel went, Bosnich, Bartes, many others. It's a high-pressure job. And also, being a goalkeeper, why is being a goalkeeper at Man United so, mentally draining? Because you've got 75,000 people watching you, and you're isolated, and you're overthinking, and it's a tough gig. And Onana's just sinking in it, really. How many goals altogether has Onana conceded this season, says Jimbo? I mean, that first one is just a bloody... It's the first one that kills you. Mystery Man says, Eric Ten Hag out, Ericsson in midfield, fresh forward on the left, not my manager, says Mystery. Yeah, but what would you do? Start Scott McTominay? Has there ever been a keeper sub because of his poor performance, says Zuma's Cat? Ten Hag is in denial, hopeless. No chance of anything coming off this season. They don't care, says Merciless. How many goals? I've done that from Jimbo. It's just terrible. It really is. You said Kane was past it, says Playing Burst. No, I didn't. Name just one decent signing Erik Ten Hag has made. Casemiro, Martinez, Ericsson was a good signing last season. Conceding from set pieces again, says I'm a plant. Bruno is your captain. He's meant to set standards, says Luke. Yeah, I don't think this is about the captain, mate. I think that's a really poor comment, actually. I wonder if we have the most set pieces conceded, says Benji. Do you actually like any player for United, says Bizu? Yes, I do. I like Højlund. I like Bruno. I like Varane. Garnacho. I like a lot of our players, to be honest. Højlund, Rashford. Good save. Martinez. I think they want an offside, but they're playing on. Happy holidays, Bridge, says David. I decided to put you on. I've done that one from David. Thank you very much. I agree with you, Mark, about sacking the manager not solving the issue, but Ten Hag signed Onana. It's a good point, Carrillo. I can't argue with it. It's just hard to watch at the moment, even though we are struggling. I look forward to the games every time, but it's always the same, says Kieran. And I'm just fed up with all these players not playing for the team. Can we not ask Keane to drop by the dressing room, says Emil. Would you sub Beyond or Inder on at this point? Yes. It's Ronaldo's fault, says Dullen. Good tackle. And that's got to be a corner. We've done well since we've gone 2-0 down. Connor says this will be an unfortunate end of Erik Ten Hag. Players downing tools and outlive another manager, and Jim is going to puff his chest and sack him to bring new change, says Connor. Can we get David back in January, says Ollie. That's it. My patience is done. Ten Hag out, says Alex Scott. So Jim's on the phone to Potter, says Son of United. Erik Ten Hag is going to sack himself, says Nathan. Looks like our noisy neighbours are losing again, says Professional Idiot. I have a broken leg. I could score past Onana, says Howard. Chris Lou says a better striker would have been in a better position for that Garnacho cross. And Vito says Wan-Bissaka has completely lost it today. Garnacho is good for the last 20 minutes when everyone is tired. No fucking quality. It's so sad, says Vito. What pisses me off the most? Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're on the road to 1.8 million tonight, so please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, get involved. Obviously got player ratings in the second half, fan forum after the game. What pisses me off is that you cannot concede the chances that we have. I mean, look, that's not what I was going to say. Merry Christmas, everyone. We may as well try and get some enjoyment out of Christmas because it'll be gone soon and United will still be shit. It's true. You know it's true. You know it's true. But when you look at the stats here, they've had 2 shots on target. We've had 3. They've had 4 shots. We've had 5. That's what pisses me off. Because people will look at that and go, 2-0, Ten Hag's got to go. But when you look at the game, 50-50, we've had the same amount of shots, but we've conceded goals because the keeper is crap. And that's the difference. The first goal against West Ham, the keeper should save it. He's weak against Jared Bowen. He runs out and stops. The first goal today, the thing is, 1-0 becomes 2-0, becomes 3-0, becomes 3-1, becomes 2-1. That first goal kills you. In the Premier League, it's competitive. You've got to keep it tight. You have to keep it tight. And if you don't keep it tight and you gift goals up, it's damaging. It's really damaging. What would be your top 5 things to change if you'd just taken over, says Luke. Oh, mate, that's a great question. I need to get rid of about 10 players, really. What's the point of getting another manager? A new manager would be blamed for Erik Ten Hag's signings, says Sakin. Garnacho, Bruno, Rashford, and Arne Eriksson not good enough. Attitudes and performances are always an issue these days. Too many players think they're better than they are. I feel bad for Højlund in this team, says Jamie. Yeah, well, I, to be honest, I'm not going to start throwing people like Rasmus, who's 20, Mainu, who's 18, and Garnacho, who's 19, under the bus. I mean, there's, like, quite rightly, you've just said that there's players in this team who are on ridiculous money, who are ridiculously crap week in, week out. And they need to be better. Mainu, this is good play. Ericsson into Bruno. Into Rashford. To Mainu. Oh, come on, he's just been pulled down there. He's given an offside. Tamba says the Mount signing would have been better used on a DM. 2 attacking midfielders in the Premier League is very naive from Ten Hag. Look, I can't lie about that. You know, the Mason Mount signing was odd. The worst signing, and you can only look at the club and Ten Hag for this, is David De Gea cost nothing. He was already here. You got rid of him for 50 million. That's like being married to Margot Robbie and divorcing her and then marrying Kathy from EastEnders but paying £50 million to do it. That's the problem with the whole Onana deal. It's not the fact that you can argue whether he's better than David De Gea. You can have that argument. Who's better, De Gea or Onana? I think De Gea. Some people think Onana. That's absolutely fine. But what you can't argue with is, would you get rid of someone like De Gea and spend £50 million to replace him with Onana? That's the problem with it, because there's no way Onana's worth £50 million to get rid of De Gea for. It's a stupid deal. United have actually played better since they've gone 2-0 down. Onana will be the end of Ten Hag. Needs to get rid of him ASAP, says Nemo. And it would be unfair to sack Ten Hag with everyone he's had to deal with this since joining. I admit he's made mistakes, but we need to trust him, says Oliver. Tyler, thank you very much for the members joining the members club. Well, look, the biggest problem you've got, and I think we're all aware of it, the biggest problem you've got is that if you get rid of Ten Hag, the new goalkeeper, and the new manager is not going to want to use Onana. Garnacho, his final ball is just a bit off, too much weight on it. Have we considered about these signings that players just didn't want to sign for our club in its current state, says Lake on the Moon. With all Man United's problems, is it wrong to think the manager wants to be sacked because he'd get paid, says Job. And goals are here for United, but they need to stop shitting the bed every time they get in the box. Aston Villa being festive at the back, says DJ. I think there's a way back into this game. I do think there's a way back in the game. But the trouble is, Villa haven't really done much yet, and they're on the attack again. If it goes to 3, it's over. I would start Mount over Bruno when he's back from injury, says Jamie. His attitude and body language isn't good enough. United depress me, sick of watching them. Glad I've got Manscaped at least that can do a job properly, unlike these paid players, says Quinstar. Thank you very much, mate. I'm so bloody tired of errors on crosses. It's been the same rubbish for 5 years, says Omar. Mate, we don't score from set pieces and we concede from set pieces. And you're right, it's been going on for years. Years and years and years. And look, I know there's a lot of people out there who'll be saying, well, De Gea made mistakes, De Gea made mistakes. But can we just have a grown-up conversation here? Let's not... I think there's a naivety when people compare Onana to De Gea. It's actually unintelligent to do it. This is not about whether Onana's better than De Gea. That's too simplistic. Stop having that chat. I think De Gea's better than Onana. You might think Onana's better than De Gea. But we're both wrong. It's irrelevant. The point that matters is Onana £50 million worth better than De Gea? And the answer is no. It was a bad deal. Oh, Rashford's just hit the side netting. I thought he'd scored. Was he a bit greedy again? It's lovely play by Bruno, but it is that long ball. Just look at Martinez's movement. So quick off his line. Killing danger before it even starts, as I see dead bodies. You're right. Welcome to the Members Club, Victor. I think Rashford's got to shoot from there, to be fair. It's a bad shot, but I think he has got to shoot. Victor, welcome to Members Club. This is not working. Are we stuck with Onana because he's showing problems that don't have quick fixes, says Nate. Should Ten Hag be gone in the summer, or should we remain patient? I think we've got to wait till the summer, Vincent. I don't think we should be sacking a manager before the review's been done. You're exaggerating this goalkeeper pressure thing. Big players becoming a Man United player is hard in general. Sancho, Di Maria, Mount, Sanchez, Depay, Luca, Lukaku, says David. Welcome to Members Club, Adrian. Why aren't we hiring new coaches if the same coaches have been teaching this team to shovel shit, says Aditya. 300k a week, and he keeps shooting into keeper's hands, plus can't keep himself onside if his life depended on it. That's United for you, says Akil. If you're tuning in, like, it's... Sparsh says you're biased on Onana. Yeah, but quite clearly I'm not, mate. Quite clearly I'm not biased on Onana because I've just given a very level-headed, pragmatic approach. It's not about whether Onana is better than De Gea. It's about why you get rid of De Gea to spend £50 million on his replacement. That's just one of the most stupid decisions I've ever known this club do. If it was a swap deal, De Gea for Onana, then you have the debate who's better. But it wasn't a swap deal. It was bye-bye David, £50 million on a replacement. It's just fucking stupid. Stupid. We should have bought Onana and let him shadow David for a couple of years, says Shane. And hi, Mark. Hate to lower the mood. My friend who's 17 has lung issues for a while now. Found out he needs a transplant. I can't put the GoFundMe in here, but I've put it in the chat. Any donation is appreciated. It's KMQ. Thank you very much, mate. It's probably going to get lost in here. You might be better putting that into a like a morning show, if you can come back on the morning show, and I'll make sure it gets pinned for you because it will get lost in here. But sorry to hear about that, and we'll certainly give that a bit of exposure. Another great chance for United. Garnacho shoots wide. He should be squaring that. It's the same old shit, though, isn't it? You know, Rashford and Garnacho have both been guilty of it in the last 5 minutes, where they're shooting from silly angles. Good play. Foul on Garnacho. To be fair, we are seeing more from Rashford today than in months, says Chad. Why can't we accept that we're not a top-table team? We have a mid-table. Eric Ten Hag did a miracle last year, but this year we are playing just on our level. Accept it, says Justin. I've seen this linesman too many times. Need to stop getting caught offside, says Sono. And Jack says Ten Hag isn't the right man for us, but let's be honest, who is? Will Potter, Flick, Conte, or whoever takes the club get this team back to top 5? I think that's a great point by Jack. I don't think there's a manager out there that's taking this team anywhere near where it needs to be. Onana is shocking, says Chris. Gone are the days of teams worried about playing at Old Trafford. Now they come full on for the win, says the Ripper. Villa could easily allow United to have another 5 chances knowing we won't score, says Jim Jones. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Can we get one back before half-time? Delo, Bruno's in, but he just doesn't win it. Doesn't win it. Offside as well. He won't sub the keeper, though. He'll stick with him. Depressing. It's depressing. Didn't the club want rid of De Gea's wages if they wanted him just to activate the extra year? It's clear they wanted rid of his wage, says PGM. Yeah, well, that's how the club's acting now, isn't it? It's all about wages. Mark, United needs Bielsa. Only he can turn this horror show around, says Leban. If Eric Ten Hag has a good team around him, CEO, director at football, surely they challenge his ideas. I feel he had this set up. De Gea, Onana, Mount didn't happen, says Ian. And do you reckon Ten Hag should be given another season to get rid of the rot, says Jim. Well, it's whether he's going to get rid of the rot, though, isn't it? Offside. Surely this is the form that can justify Ten Hag's sacking, says Daly. We've never had a worse goalkeeper, says Glenn. We have. What was his name? Tayibi. Well, look, Ten Hag storming in at half-time. I'm looking at this here. Ten Hag storming down. I'm guarantee he's going to moan at the team. But I'm looking at this and I'm saying, look, I've got to be honest. The manager's the manager. But if I'd walk in at half-time and if I got shouted at, if I was like Bruno or someone, I'd say, hold on a minute. We've had 7 shots. We've had 3 on target. We've played more passes than them. We've got a better pass accuracy than them. It's 50-50 on possession. This is a tough game against a team that's in a title race, and we're actually doing okay. We're actually playing okay. We're losing 2-0 because of that person in goal. You know, how can we go toe-to-toe with teams that are meant to be better than us and get a win when we're letting in fucking free kicks that are crosses? Like, it doesn't matter. We're always going to lose. And too many... Look, Champions League... Didn't we break a record in the Champions League for goals scored and still went out? Like, I'm sorry, at some point, we're Manchester United, and at some point you've got to say, hold on a minute. At what point does time get put in the bin and sympathy get put in the bin? And you go, this is costing us now. We're not in Europe because of this goalkeeper. We're out completely because of him. And now, the last 2 games, he's been at fault for both the goals, the first goals. I know we lost 2-0 to West Ham, and I know we're losing 2-0 now. But the most important goal, especially when it's Man United, is the first goal. If we concede first, it tends to get worse. If we score first, we tend to get a good result. And he's cost us on both goals in the last 2 games. I don't know why he's not changing the goalkeeper. I really don't. Bienda must be shit. Because to me, it's madness. Could Onana lose his place after going to the AFCON, says Becky. Not enough positives compared to the negatives with Ten Hag, says Jack. Not enough positives. Okay. If Eric Ten Hag loses his job tonight, will Onana be sold, says Max. It's like Ten Hag and your attackers haven't figured out that Villa play an offside trap, says the HPN. It's disgusting. What do these guys do at training? They don't know what their teammate's going to do. Anticipation, repetition, collectively are all from training, says Tyler. Daniel says, no matter what manager we have, it will be the same. Manta says, United playing like Sadio Mane, 6 or 7 offsides already. Could Onana lose his place? We've done that one. Not enough positives. We've done that one. Sade says, that's what happens when you don't believe Ronaldo. Okay, that's not helpful. Happy Christmas, Mark. Can you call my brother and Mark and my brother-in-law Rory Pratts? Rory's probably a bigger Pratt as he supports Liverpool. Says Karen. Old Trafford booing the team off again. Something has to really change, says Robert. Has Ten Hag depleted dressing room environment, says Sparsh. Gaming Vibes, welcome to Members Club. Just seems like everything's going wrong for United, says it's Louis. And got to be worth mentioning, it doesn't look like the heads have dropped, and that's good, says Curtis. No, you know what? Since going 2-0 down, we've been the better side, and there are goals there. And if you get the first goal, you can get the second goal. Of course you can. But it must be soul destroying. It's a bit like playing for Chelsea and knowing you've got no one to score. I mean, we haven't scored for 4.5 games though. That's a problem. But look, I've got to say, as I sit here honestly, KFJ says, look, we've been playing all right. Just a shame about the goalkeeper. Would honestly sub him at half-time. And Ratcliffe needs some statement actions when he's in place, and I believe Ten Hag sack will be one of them. You know what? It's a good point by Space Oddie. You know what my problem is if we sack Ten Hag? And Lee's absolutely correct. Lee says Onana is going to be the hill that gets Ten Hag sacked. He's so easy to exploit. It's a joke. I think you're both right. I think you're both absolutely right. I don't want to go back into the past, but I was so against replacing De Gea this summer. I thought it was maybe a problem for next summer, but not this summer. It wasn't a priority. And what it's actually done, and I know for a fact in the summer, there was a number of senior players that were disgusted with the way De Gea was treated. He went on holiday expecting to get a new contract. And on holiday, they basically said, you're done. That's a senior leader and friend of a lot of the senior leaders in that dressing room. So straight away, a lot of people were like, they lost something. Call it trust, whatever. And then on top of that, Onana's been shit. So that's a double kick in the nuts for Ten Hag, because one, he replaces a player that a lot of senior players in the team didn't agree with that happening, but you have to get on with it. But then when the replacement's shit, that's really a problem. So I think that Onana really, you know, if we were still in Europe, Ten Hag would be in a stronger position. But now it's impacting on the I mean, in the Premier League, he's not been too bad. In Europe, he cost us European football, but in the Premier League, I think he's got quite a few clean sheets. But the last 2 games, he's cost us the first goal, and that's. I mean, look, Ten Hag is. People say drop Onana for Binder. It doesn't solve the problem that Ten Hag. I will say this: if he drops Onana for Binder, it's an exception. It's not like people are going to forget that he spent £50 million to replace David De Gea, and it's not worked. So, you know, my big fear is that Sir Jim Ratcliffe does sack Ten Hag, and then we're in a worse position. I think it's a ridiculously tough decision to make with Ten Hag, because if you sack him, it's very reactionary. You don't give yourself time to do the review. And if you do sack him, you give the next manager £400 million of players that they might not want. You know, they might look at Mason Mount and go, I don't fucking want him. I don't want Onana. I don't know what to do with this Rasmus Højlund. I don't want Anthony. You know, Casemiro's no good. You know, suddenly the next and also they've got Harry Maguire, who was a Solskjaer signing. You know, they've got Rashford, they've got Bruno, they've got all these players and Ten Hag's players. So, look, it's all right to say sack the manager, but I think it could make the problems worse. I think the problem is some people think sack the manager because things can only get better because they're only getting worse. And you might be right, but the job's impossible. It's funny. I think if Qatar were taking over the club and it was in this situation, it'd be very easy to say sack Ten Hag because they've got the money to just get rid of all the shit and spend a load of money on new players. But I don't think that this Glazer Sir Jim Ratcliffe ownership has enough money to 1, sack Ten Hag, and then 2, get a good replacement, and then 3, spend another £300-400 million on a new manager, and then try and get rid of everybody else. I don't see that that's a pathway for Manchester United. But look, I'll admit it, you can't keep losing games of football. You will get sacked. It's Manchester United. And Ten Hag has to take responsibility for the goalkeeper. It should be 0-0 at half-time. That game should be 0-0 at half-time. I'd argue that with anyone. It's not 0-0, and fair play to Aston Villa, but it's been a very equal game. But like Europe, we're losing because we've got a goalkeeper that's giving up goals that you won't see people giving up on Sunday League football. Look, football's such a simple game. People talk about football and they go, I've played the game. Joey Barton FC, I've played the game. I know it better than anybody. Well, Joey, I've played the game. I've played pub football. I've played under-14s football. I've watched this football. You get free kicks in the same area. That free kick you'll see on Sunday morning when the Dog and Duck play the Red Lion. Pub football. That cross will come in and the goalkeeper of the opposition will keep his eye on that cross and follow the line of the cross, and he'll catch it. Or he'll punch it. And if somebody in the line of that gets a flicked header on it and it goes in, he'll go, I can't do anything about that. I can't react to a little flick that takes it out of its line of trajectory. But Onana can't even save crosses. I mean, it must be the 3rd time this season where a cross has come in, it's not changed trajectory at all, and gone past him. He may as well be a traffic cone. He doesn't move. My Sunday League team have a better tactics. It's actually comical, says Anthony Jury. We need Scotty's passion and Anthony's right foot for the second half, says Graham Souness. Playing like strangers in the front 3, no constructive interplay, resulting in 0 goals. Oh, David, I sort of disagree. I think there's been some good interchanges in the final 15 minutes, but the bottom line is we're 2-0 down. People think we're doing okay in this game, have really lowered standards, says Jonathan. Tired of the slow starts at Old Trafford as well, says Omar. We should be on the front foot in the beginning. Now we have to play catch-up against a better team. Merry Christmas, Mark, and I'm afraid Eric Ten Hag is going to get the sacks. Alexander. If this were Milan, Madrid, or any other big club, the fans would take matters into their own hands. Ultras would deal with it. Anarchy is required. Protests are a wait of time. Time to get tough, says Sean. Yeah, but people are happy with 25% and the Glazers staying, you know. United doesn't have the fighting spirit without the players like Martinez, says Okerf. And Mozzo, thank you. Welcome to the Members Club. Mark Anthony, thanks for your super chat. Raf says, I feel sorry for Højlund, but I think he needs to be subbed for Anthony and shuffle Marcus to striker. Dimitri says, the only time we look like scoring is on the break. We don't have the players that can move the ball and break the teams down. Get an honour out of my club, says Mads. Ten Hag looks as lost as the players out there on the field, says Jake. Afcan's going to be our best signing in January, says Gustav. We need McTominay on, says N. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where this McTominay... I presume it's jokes, because I don't know where this McTominay shit comes from. Be down to 10 men if he comes on. He's not going to link up the players. He's just going to goal hang around Rasmus. I don't think McTominay makes any difference, but he might do it. He might do it. I mean, look, any outfield change that you recommend for me is irrelevant because it should be 0-0 and when we're 2-0 down because of the goalkeeper. I don't think any outfield player doesn't deserve to come out in the second half. That's my opinion. We're losing because of the goalkeeper. When will we stop blaming everyone but that fake Guardiola fraud? Even Varane looks average with his coaching, says Ankit. And if we hadn't bought an Arna, you would have moaned that we didn't buy Ten Hag targets like you did for Kudos. Very convenient. No, I wouldn't, Prab. And don't, look, it was, people like this make me laugh. You know, I didn't drop out of your chuff. You don't know anything about me. You didn't bring me up. You don't spend time with me. You're not mates and you don't live in my head. So stop talking shite. If we hadn't bought an Arna, you'd have moaned that we didn't buy Ten Hag targets. No, I wouldn't, because I spent 4 months saying don't buy a goalkeeper, go and do something else. And I spent all summer saying don't buy a goalkeeper, don't do anything else. So you're talking out your arse, mate. I don't care whether it's Christmas, you're still talking out your arse. Look what Klopp said, probably going to get fined, sadly, says Josh. And don't get letting Ten Hag stay and make new signings. He bought Onana to play Ajax. Look, to here, let's play a little game here. Let's play a little game here. If Man United sack Eric Ten Hag tomorrow, what does the new manager do with Onana? He's got to use him. So, you know, what's he going to do with Mason Mount? He's got to use him. What's he going to do with Rasmus and Anthony? He's got to use him because you can't sell them players. Nobody's going to roll into town and go, there's 50 million for an Arna or there's 80 million for Anthony. Everybody's been watching United. So this is the thing, you know, sack the manager, bring in a new manager. Mission impossible for me. Mission impossible. I don't see how in a million years that works for Manchester United because the mess is incredible. Absolutely incredible. But I've also said, and many people have said it, I'm not going to claim exclusivity on this. We may not be at the bottom of the barrel. Like I think there's naive people in our fan base that thinks that change the manager, everything will go back to normal. We might get a bounce. We might get an Ollie bounce, but we can't be naive about an Ollie bounce. We know what an Ollie bounce is. An Ollie bounce can last like 5 minutes, 3 months, and then you know you're back where you were again. I don't see I don't see any quick change. I don't see any massive improvement really. And look, what I will say as well is everybody's entitled to an opinion. I don't care if you want to sack Ten Hag. You don't sack Ten Hag. I don't sack Ten Hag. Nobody sacks Ten Hag other than the owners of the football club. So if we sack Ten Hag, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. And, you know, I shouldn't stop it. And no one can stop it. But I can't see any... I've never heard anybody say who's Ten Hag out, sack Ten Hag and get Conte. I've never heard anyone say sack Ten Hag and get Potter. I've never heard anyone say sack Ten Hag and get Hansi Flick. All I hear is sack Ten Hag. And that terrifies me because I'm like, they just want to sack Ten Hag. They've made that mind up. But then they want to put the trust of the new manager into the board. It's almost like, you know, hypothetical sacking without the solution. And that terrifies me. That absolutely terrifies me. If you want to sack Ten Hag tomorrow, you better fucking come up with a hypothetical solution and believe in it. And that's where I'm out. Because I'm like, we need a review. We need a strategic review. And Ten Hag has to be part of that review. We're probably going to have to wipe this season off to do that review. But what's the point in sacking Ten Hag and giving the job to Steve McLaren till the summer? What's the point in sacking Ten Hag and getting Potter in and maybe getting a new bounce and then they give him a 3-year contract? I think we're just going to have to write this season off. We need Scotty's passion. We've done that one. Welcome to the Members Club, JC. And signing the best last Champions League goalkeeper and he's performing like this is not Eric Ten Hag's fault. In paper, it was a great signing, but sadly didn't work, says Rian. Mark Varane was at fault for both goals. No, he wasn't, Will. And JC, thank you. How can Varane be at fault for a cross going into the goal and the keeper doesn't move? Were we playing rush goalkeeper? Did Varane take the gloves for that cross? Did he? Oh, that's my fault. And on the second goal, was it Varane who glued Onana to his goal line again? Come on, watch football with a brain, mate. I don't think we defended the corner very well. But explain to me why our goalkeeper is terrified of coming off his line. Same against Bayern. Same against Bowen's goal. Sack Eric, says Ski. How about we sack the set-piece coach? He's not been great, but it's not Onana's fault. The rest of the team don't understand the offside rule, says Inspector Clouseau. Eric Ten Hag still thinks he can make a statement with his team, says Thomas. Signing Onana over Costa was a bad choice, says Trishan. They all need sacking, manager and the players, says Red Devil. Well, I think that's the most common sense statement we've had of the night. Let's not forget that if you sack the manager, you're still stuck with these players. Who will have sacked 3 or 4 managers. Signing... Okay, we've done that one. If Jim, have you got 200 million, who would you buy and why? Would get Palina, swap for McTominay, Malan, swap for Deal Sancho, Costa from Porto, says Tom. Do you think Casemiro and Martinez makes a significant difference, says Akert? You know what? That's the best comment we've had in the last minute from Akert. Does Casemiro and Martinez make a difference in this game? Guess what? No. Casemiro and Varane make no difference to this game unless Casemiro's in goal and Martinez is in goal. We're losing this game because the goalkeeper cost us 2 goals. That's why we're losing. Villa haven't really done anything. I agree with Reb as well. A proper director of football would never, ever, ever have sanctioned the Onana signing, and that's why you need a proper director of football. If I was director of football of Man United in the summer and Eric Ten Hag says to me, I want to let David De Gea go for free, not give him a new contract, and then I want to spend £50 million on Onana, I would have said, you're having a laugh. And he would have said, well, no, I like Onana. And I would have said, well, I like Onana as well. But I'm not getting rid of a Golden Glove winning goalkeeper that's been here for 10 years and is, still decent to spend £50 million on his replacement. It's a bad deal, Eric. Especially when we're not in a position of luxury. Like when there's a lot of other problems in the team. Jesus, Mark, Ten Hag has to stop playing Butterfingers if he has any chance of keeping his job, says Joseph. I don't know how good Binder is, though. That's the problem. Maybe Binder's crap. I feel like the best option for United is not to finish top 5, so the toxic players leave and the players that want to stay and are loyal then start over, says Phil. We can counter-attack, but our passes aren't well enough and the opponents are just intercepting all our missed passes, says JF. Thank you very much, pal. Well, we've got the second half up and running here. Ange would have fixed United. Look at how they play after just a few months. Liquid Gaming. The expectations of Spurs and Manchester United are completely different. Maybe Ange would do a good job. This is lovely play by United. Rashford. Garnacho. Goal, yes! 2-1. Come on. Get in. Lovely goal by Manchester United. Shut up and sit down. Have that. Have that, you critics. Looks offside. Fuck off. And I've got the hiccups. Calm down. Calm down. What a great goal this will be if it is. What a great team goal. And it's all because of people like Ericsson. And Rasmus. He's got to be on there. It could be off. He's got, if Garnacho is offside. And you know what? Even Garnacho's a little bit selfish here. He looks off. It'd just be typical of United's season if this is not a goal. Absolutely typical of United's season if this is not a goal. Because a great build-up. Rasmus, Bruno, Rashford. Exploiting the high line. Right at the start of the second half. Looks offside to me, but you just don't know with the camera angles. I hate fucking VAR. I hate VAR. It's like my Uncle Dave. I fucking hate it. Well, Digne, he's gone off injured. This could be a double whammy for Villa. What did he do? He can't even walk. What we got? What we got? Referee. It's obviously close. The thing is, when it's close, it worries me. Go! Get in! Come on! Come on! Get in! No, it's not. Oh. I thought when he went like that and pointed to the centre circle, that means it's a goal. Fucking what? I thought when he went like that and pointed to the centre circle, it's a goal. For fuck's sake. You know what? That's just a story of our fucking game, isn't it? I mean, that's just, you know what? You've actually got to be a little bit critical there. You've got to be a little bit critical there because this is high-end football and nobody seems to be able to time their runs. I agree on Onana, but you can't just blame him losing games. We can't score goals, says Paul. No, that's a great point, Paul. Sell everyone, all the players, coaching staff, managers, fed up with this, says Dave. Welcome to Members Club, JF. Appreciate that. And come on, there's goals in this game. There's goals in it. Get one back. We're attacking the Stretford end. One back and we're alive. So should United waste another transfer window as Ten Hag is going to go by most March, says Joe. Joe, right. If you want to replace Ten Hag, tell the world we've got 70,000 people watching. Instead of saying get rid of Ten Hag, tell us who you're going to replace him with. And then we can all have a proper conversation. Ten Hag in until they give him all he asked for, which includes players and staff, says Jabbo. Eric Ten Hag is cooking for so long it smells like burnt food, says Rickan. Thank you very much, mate. Crap cross by Rashford there. He hasn't really got much on the bench. He's miles off. You know what? What are we doing in this country with VAR? He is fucking miles off. Miles off. And they took 2 minutes for that. 2 minutes for that. That's like being in a bar chatting someone up and they've got no intention of actually, having a dance or anything further and they let you buy a drink. It's disgusting. Should be an offence. Fan forum will blame Bruno and not Onana. The fact that we have to compare Onana with David speaks for itself. That we wasted £50 million, says Let's Review. Mark, you say you don't fire Eric because it's the players, but who bought Casemiro, Ericsson, Anthony, Weghorst, Sabitzer, Mount? He didn't buy Sabitzer. He didn't buy Amrabat. He's on loan as well, David. And I like Casemiro. I like Ericsson. I like Anthony. And I like Højlund. So a bit of a mixed bag there, David. It's your opinion. So Sam says get Ollie back. I mean, the fact that some people would bring Ollie back just shows you how some human beings do have the memory of a goldfish. It's like saying bring COVID back. I was actually out in the pub yesterday and lunchtime pint having a chat with people, and somebody said, I've never seen it this full since before COVID. And then someone said, you know what, in a way, I quite liked COVID. And I said, did you actually have it? And he went, oh, no. I just quite liked, being at home, the camaraderie. And I said, it did kill a lot of people. I don't think we want to go back to COVID. The funny thing is, I did like Onana. I thought he was a very good goalkeeper, but what I warned people about is that being a Man United goalkeeper is very different to being an Ajax goalkeeper. What a ball by Bruno. Rashford, he's got to get... He's bottled that. He's bottled that. Rashford's got to get that. Rashford's got to get that. 50-50. Could be a red card, though. Could be a red card here. Get him off, ref! Get him off! It's a red. He could have killed him. This is like Schumacher in 84. He could have bloody killed him. I haven't even seen it yet. He's probably offside as well. I think he's offside in the build-up. Nah, he ain't getting a red for that. It's never a red. It's just a... I think Rashford should go for that. I think Rashford pulls out. You know what? The stupid thing is, if he hadn't pulled out, he'd have got there first, then it would have been a red. Look, I've seen that 3 times. I think Rashford bottles it. I don't think he fancies it at all. For me, Rashford stops. Look, Rashford stops and slips. It's not a red. That's not a red. The keeper's there first. He's miles there first. There's nothing about that. That's a red card. I can't believe people think it is. Rashford bottles the tackle. If he goes committed, he would have got there first and it would have been a red. I'm not saying other players wouldn't bottle it as well, but it's never a red. And you see it. Rashford slows down. If he just kept running, knocked the ball, you'd have got clattered anyway, but you'd have got a red card, mate. Bruno, good save. Fucking hell. Next manager, whether it's Ten Hag or someone else, just needs to focus on getting the club on track, says Mike. Would have been a red if it had been Casemiro, says Nitin. Martinez is a great goalkeeper, isn't he? I mean, yeah. I tell you what, Onana wouldn't have got that. He'd be playing that balancing game on his line. If you fall off, you fall in the lava. Don't come off your line. The floor is lava, apart from the white line. Liverpool should have won 4-0. Says Brad. Ollie is world class at counter-attacks, says Umzi. Next might have done that one as well. Chelsea United should do a merger, says Glyn. It would have been a red if it was Casemiro done that. New manager bounce can get us Europe next year, says Chris. Sebastian says you're spot on. Mark Rashford pulls out. But you know, in fairness to Rashford, he doesn't do... I don't think he's done many 50-50 tackles since his back injury anyway. Let's see how low mentality players we have now. Since we didn't get a goal, they will drop their heads and feel sorry for themselves. 5-0 Villa, says Stig. MOT says Rashford's a coward for that. Max says Rashford's a coward. He should become a charity worker. Look, I think there's a few players out there that might not fancy that 50-50, to be honest. But the bottom line is, if he'd have got there, he should have got there. Martinez wouldn't have got there. Here we go. Here's Rashford. Square it, square it. Yes! Get in! That's onside. Garnacho, 2-1. Game on. That won't be offside. Come on. 2-1 to Manchester United. We're back. We're back. It's 2-1. And that will be a goal. Garnacho. We're not getting past the world champion keeper from 25-yard shots. It's just a waste of time, says Connor. We've got half an hour here. Half an hour, and it's a good team goal again. It's another good team goal. Right, deep, breathe deep. Nice to see Rashford passing as well. I mean, I thought he was going to shoot. We're not getting... Gary Neville rejuvenates his managerial career at United, says Mike. Rashford pulled out faster than my dad probably wished he had on a certain night back in 2002. That didn't age well, Jack, because Rashford's back popular now. He's just got us an assist. I tell you, Villa haven't really done much in this game. In some ways... Oh, and Arna's just made a good save there. I think it might have been for the cameras, really. I think it was straight at him. I'll give him credit. Give him some credit. And Arna's back as well. Cross comes in. Bloody hell. Get rid of it. I just said Villa haven't done anything, and now they're doing something. Well, we're in for an exciting Christmas treat here on Boxing Day night. It's 2-1 with half an hour to go. Look at the stats. We've been the better side. 2 shots on target, and both of them are goals. Wait for the go again. We go again, tweet, says Reb. Another corner to Villa. 3-2 comeback mark. Well, I don't know about 3-2. I'm not here to say 3-2. I don't know about that. I'll take 2-2 at the moment from 2-0 down against this Villa side. I'll take it. But there's half an hour to go here. The difficulty is, what subs do you make? I mean, look, I'm not making any subs. I think if you make any subs, I've seen him make subs before. And it kills the momentum. I actually think we've got the best team on the pitch. I think Eriksen's made a huge difference as well. I know people won't realise it, but how many times have we seen Bruno in that position to slip Rashford or Garnacho or Højlund in? And that's because he's not having to do the defensive work he has to do when he plays with McTominay. I think that's been key. Credits to Bruno for winning the tackle and starting the attacks as Sakin. I think Bruno's had a good game. Welcome to Members Club, Liquid Gamers. Possible comeback incoming, says Tommy. Tommy! Operation Save Ten Hag, says Louis. I'm one of the first to criticise Rashford usually, but I'm impressed with him so far tonight, says Lawrence. I think, look, I'm a fan of Rashford, but, you know, even I've had to give him criticism in recent weeks. He's nowhere near what he should be doing. Of course he's not. But what I would say about Rashford is he's no good on the right wing. I don't think he's good up front. You either play him on the left wing or you don't play him. And I've said that for a long time. So if you're going to get anything out of Rashford, you've got to play him right. You've got to play him on the left wing. And that might be unfair on Garnacho, but Garnacho's playing on the right wing tonight. So, and he scored. Bruno beat best player on the pitch. Garnacho and Rashford have been amazing as well, says Dave. Here is Garnacho. Just great. You know what? I've got to say, this pisses me off. Like, he's got to cross this. He has got to cross this. I know he's just scored a goal and he's had one offside. But in this position, you shouldn't be shooting. This has got to be a cross. It's got to be a cross. And this is where we go wrong. You're a fucking winger. Cross the ball. And this is where we go wrong. You know, Rashford crossed it and we scored a tap-in. I don't mind wingers shooting sometimes, but get the cross in. That's a good tackle by Mainoo. Had a good game. You know what it is, though? We've all played the game. Exhilaration, confidence. You get into these positions, you think you can do anything, but it's that team thing. 6 months ago, Ten Hag was a hero. Now some want him out. Short-term thinking. Worked out well in the past. Replace him with Big Sam, says Eric. You know what? I'll say this right now. I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen here. But I'll say this right now. If we lose this game 2-1, and you've got people outside Old Trafford and people online going, get rid of Ten Hag, get him out, I've had enough, he's a fraud. What game have you been watching? Like, you can't sack a manager based on this performance. I think we've been the better team. And Villa are good. I think we've been the better team, and we might lose it, but, you know, we have played quite well. Rashford and Eriksen back in the team has made us better than we were with McTominay and Anthony, let's be honest. Defensively, I think Evans and Varane have done well, apart from the set pieces. And, look, you can't account for goalkeeping errors. So, I think we deserve a point out of this game. But there's a long way to go yet. I've got to get back into it. Nice ball by Rashford. Højlund. Hey up, ref! Hey up, ref! Come on, then! Hey up! Hey up, me duck! That's got to be a penalty. He's gone right through the back of Rasmus there. Right through the back of him. And he's given an offside. Because he is miles offside. He's miles offside. We just can't stay on side tonight. Well, that's why it would have been a penalty. Because he's starting from an offside position, isn't he? I get Ten Hag is having a bad season, but why is Eddie Howe devoid of criticism with a somewhat identical season so far, says Manor. Wow, yeah, you're right. You're right. What are we thinking then? Do you think United are going to get back into this? Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. One thing you can't say is that for a Boxing Day night game where you might want to be playing Monopoly and cards and who knows what, maybe watching a James Bond film like I used to do, we're getting some good entertainment here. We are. We definitely are. How many... Oh, I can't find... Is anyone on the One Football app? Can anyone tell me how many offsides we've had in this game so far? Because we haven't got that stat. I'll get it. Eight. We've had 8 offsides. 8th offside tonight, says Ethan. Thank you, mate. We've been the better side and need to score chances. Again, we're back trying to bail out this keeper's mistakes. I back Ten Hag till next season, says Alex. Welcome to Members Club, Dom. Well, look, the frustrating thing is if this was to finish 2-1, take away the corner. I'll take the corner. It was bad defending and I think it was bad goalkeeping. But, you know, I'd take that. It's that first goal, isn't it? If United understand offsides, they'd be 7-2 up, says Michael. We're so bad at offsides, though, aren't we? Again, it's the tech. I think, you know what? In a segment, United struggle with the technical side of the game, don't they? And it predates Ten Hag. Goes back to Ollie, Jose. We struggle with the technical side of the game. We struggle staying onside. We struggle defending set pieces. We struggle scoring set pieces. It's almost like we really struggle with the rules. You know, the organisation. Staying onside. Marking your man, you know, getting space. We really struggle with it. Anyway, here's Garnacho. Where's he going to go? He should have crossed that first time. Wins a corner. It's exciting. But we need the goal. Ericsson with the cross. Simon. Let him speak, Simon. Simon with the member. Welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. 20 minutes to go here. 20 minutes to go. That line is so high. Here's Rashford. Apparently, United were caught offside 6 times in the first half, the most by a team in a single half this season in the Premier League. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Just calm down a little bit. There'll be a chance. I think Ericsson's made a massive difference tonight. Jordan's just said it in our group chat, and I agree. I think he's made a massive difference because it's got Bruno higher up the pitch. Bruno's actually playing as a 10. Here we go. Garnacho. Wide. Let's put the cross in, Bruno. Oh, go high. Garnacho. Get in! 2-2! Come on, Starboy! We're back in it! I fucking told ya! I told ya! Don't be bloody writing Ten Hag's a fraud. Don't be writing him off. And do not be enjoying this, you miserable bastards. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. There'll be people out there who are thinking, oh, I can't have a moan after the game. Oh, I can't have a moan. Come on, 2-2. We're in it. We're in it. As Kevin Keegan said, we're in this. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But get in. Love it. Garnacho from the right-hand side. Rashford's playing well from the left-hand side. There's no offside in that. Shot up. It's 2-2. Don't worry about it. Oh, it's a Christmas cracker. It's a Christmas cracker here. And Garnacho, he got a bit of a deflection, to be fair. It might have been saved by the keeper. But we don't care. We don't care because it's 2-2. We can win this. We could win this. And it's nice to see Ten Hag's face there as well. The joy. The joy on his face. He deserves it. Now, switch on. Switch the fuck on. Now, this is Villa again. This is what we did before. Oh, what a block by Johnny Evans. Oh, my God. Every time we score, we give a chance up. Every time. Oh. Bruno's gone and got himself booked. Calm down, Bruno. Calm down. We're back in the game from 2-0 down. Just laugh at him. What a block by Johnny Evans. That was going in. I don't think Onana saves this. No fucking way is he saving that. That's bottom corner from McGinn. How is he booking? Why is he booking Bruno for there? Gilly, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much. Simon is already one. Oh, that high line from Villa. There's a goal in this. There's another goal in this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. This roller coaster, we do it every week. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We're live every morning at 10 o'clock. We might not be title contenders, but we are entertaining. Johnny Evans has had a good game. Varane's had a good game. Ericsson's had a good game. Mainoo's had a good game. Bruno's had a good game. Rashford's had a good game. I think Højlund's had a good game. I know people won't agree with me, but he works his arse off. Is it written in the stars? Is it written in the stars? A Rasmus winner. A Rashford winner. Who? I don't care. I'll have a Johnny Evans off his arse winner. Craig Pawson, back post. Hit. I don't care. Thomas says, we're not entertaining. Well, we are tonight. Does Evans now have more saves than Anana, says Rob? Look, I don't feel that this game in the next 15 minutes is going to end 2-2. I'd take a draw now. Well, no, I wouldn't actually. But if we get a draw from this game, I think it's a really good result against a good Villa side. But I did say in the preview, Villa at home, you should have put the cross in. Villa at home are... What's that from Bruno? Come on. Put the cross in. Why are we not putting the cross in there? We wanted to see a performance. He put out the right formation with the players who contribute. It's fun again. Loving it again, says James. Mate, I've got no problem with this team. I said in the preview, drop Scott McTominay, get the team playing higher up the pitch. It's worked. Bruno's been higher up the pitch. It's worked. The bottom line is we had to come from 2-0 down because of, defensive errors. Razzie winner in Fergie time, says Noah. There's got to be a winner here. The crowd are loving it. We wanted to see a performance. He put the right formation out, says James. We've been the better side and need to score chances, says Alex. Again, we're back trying to bail out this keeper's mistakes. I back Ten Hag till next season, says Alex. I feel it. Is Ericsson. Bruno. Oh, I think Bruno's overdoing it a little bit at the moment. He's having a good game. Here's Rashford. Puts the cross in. Oh, just over Rasmus's head. Mainu does well. Put it in again. Delo, come back. Where you going, Delo? Pass the fucking ball. Come on. Play it simple, man. Let him speak, Simon. I think we're overdoing the pudding a little bit here. Just simplify it. Simplify it. I think we've got back to level pegging. We've gone a bit silly. Connor says, are you not entertained? It's funny how many chances we've created now. McTominay's not on the pitch, says Mackenzie. Look at the stats. It's not that high, really. 11 shots to 10. But I think it's been a good game. I think we should win this. I think we should be winning this. Like an animal. Arrgh. Come on. Simon says you're miles behind. Mate, I can't do anything about it. It's called Amazon Prime. It's fucking rub. I'm not a big fan of streaming services because you do get people with different lengths. He's bringing McTominay on. And Anthony. Well, no, you know what? You know what? It might not be a bad idea. It might not be a bad idea because Ericsson probably can't play a full game and McTominay off the bench to win it. Diaby is way too fast for our defence, says Ronan. I don't know what's wrong with Rashford here. Be a shame if he's picked up an injury. Rashford off for Anthony on the left. All level here, Mark, says Simon. Let him speak, Simon. We've got player ratings. I'll get that in the live chat in the video description for you in a moment. But it's Villa on the attack. My worry is that we basically gave Villa a 2-goal start. They've not had to work for a goal yet, and they're more than capable of scoring a goal. Rashford's back on now. Looks like he's moving okay. Right, I'm going to drop the link in the video description for you. Player ratings. It's there. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Look, hopefully we're going to have a positive player ratings for the first time in a while. Where has this Rashford been? Working hard, pressing the ball. Says Mario Franco. Well, I like Garnacho on the right because he's got it's a bit like Rashford on the right can work because it's that natural right-footed cross. I think Villa are defending for their lives a bit here. Rashford, get up. Get up. We caught him on the heel. I think he might be coming off now, Rashford, for Anthony. And it will surely be Eriksen for McTominay. Or will it be Mainu? Oh, it's Mainu. I don't know. That was natural. That wasn't scripted. I literally just was in a daze clapping him off. So McTominay's on for Mainu. And who will go holding midfielder here? I presume McTominay. Well played, Garnacho. Into the low. Does well. Whips a cross in. Edge of the box. Come on, United. 10 minutes. I'll fucking love it if we win this. I'll love it if we win this. Anthony, lay it off. Oh, he's done the hard bit. He's done the hard bit. He's won it back and then he's missed the pass. Oh. Happy holidays, Mikey. If you could sign any player in January that boosts your confidence going into the second half. I don't think there's anyone realistically in January that's going to make a massive difference, Mikey. For me, it's just adding to the squad. Cross comes in. We never score from corners. It is! It is! It's Rasmus! It's bloody Rasmus! Get in! Get in! Rasmus! 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 Get in! Get in! Get in! It's Christmas! It's fucking Christmas 2023! Get in and sit the fuck down! Get in! Oh! I had to wait! I had to wait! Get in! Urgh! Get in! I bloody love football! I love football! I love football! Get in! Rasmus! Get in! 3-2, I said it! I said it! Urgh! Urgh! Shove that up your bloody arse, you bloody critics! Get in! Look at that, it just bounces around the box. And it's a lovely finish as well. In a congested box. The left foot instinct. Look at this. Look, I thought it was I actually thought it was McTominay. For a moment, oh, look, what a finish. What a finish. Oh, I love it. I love this game. I love this game. You know what? I don't do a told you so's, and I'm not going to do a told you so's. What I will do is sticking by the manager and sticking by that striker. If you're in that club, it's not been easy. It's not been easy lately. It's not been easy. Sticking by that lad, sticking by this manager, it's been very hard. You know, people have told you you're clueless. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, we do. Oh, I tell you what, that took a lot out of me. What a goal. It's a lovely finish as well, in off the post. Look at his face. Look at his face. The elation. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's Eric signing Mark as well, says Daryl. Oh, you know what though? It's that. You know, he scored so many goals, in the Champions League. He's not a bloody flop, you know. But because he didn't have the Premier League goal, people start moaning about it. Oh, just take it in for a moment or two. Look, take it in for a minute. I've not come down yet, but there is still time here. There is still time for it to go wrong. We've got to defend well. What a game, eh? What a fucking game. They're in the box. Get rid of it. Yeah, boot it. Boot it, Scooby-Doo. For me, this has been the perfect game. You know, I actually think that Onana was in on it. This has almost been the perfect game for me. 2-0 down. All the moaners start going, Ten Hag out, Ten Hag out. And I said we were playing well. I said we were the better team. It should have been 0-0 at half-time. Defensive errors. And we've been brilliant in the second half. We've been brilliant. And it makes such a difference when you've got Eriksen in the midfield. It makes such a difference to get Bruno back into that team. It's just... The midfield balance has been so good. Like, Mainu hardly got mentioned because he did the CDM role how you're meant to do it. How Carrick did it for years. He did it like that, where you just go about your business and do your thing. And that's what he did. Oh, magnificent. 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 Well, I hope you're entertained in the chat. I mean, if you're a Manchester United fan and you're not entertained by this, what's your problem? Who are you? I don't get it. I know the Brentford game was scrappy. You know, when we beat Brentford, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed beating Brentford, but we were 1-0 down in stoppage time. This, we're 2-0 down at half time. It's proper football. It's proper coaching. It's proper commitment. It's proper, you know, it's not smash and grab. We've actually come back in 45 minutes from 2-0 down to 3-2. One bookie's had Rasmus to score 61. Backed it with a £10 bet, says Oliver Cook. Well done, mate. Ed Games, thank you very much for becoming a member. Players playing for the manager, no doubt, says Scott. Yeah, 100%. New ownership bounce, Mark. It wasn't at half-time, but Garnacho's been fantastic as well. That's going to be a foul. Anthony came off the bench fighting and won the corner, says Surra. Welcome to Members Club, Ed Games. One bookie, we've done that. Players playing for the manager, no doubt, says Scott. I told you, says Paul Anderson. Rasmus, says Simon Slade. Tusha says Rasmus. Santa coming in clutch with one last present, says Ed. Rasmus got me here almost in tears, says Thomas. We haven't lost a Boxing Day match since 1978, says Jack. Christmas Merchant, says Brad. That's an Eric signing as well. Ten Hag outers, swivel on that, says Faris. You know what? I just hope some of them come back. There is a way back for the Ten Hag outers. Right, simply just say, it's because he was picking McTominay. Now he's dropped him, I'm coming back. And then stay. Don't be a fucking flip-flop. Don't be one of these people who go, Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out. Fucking have a backbone. Have a backbone in life. Amy says, Rasmus. Have a fucking backbone in life. You know, at the weekends, Bournemouth, I'm still Ten Hag in. You know, I've criticised the things he did, but I'm still saying don't sack the manager. Have a fucking backbone. Stick with your decisions to the end. 619 Trading says, I bet Faz is mad. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? You know, I've been in that position. If there's one bit of advice I can give you, Rasmus goes off to an applause. Fucking love it. Look at that. You can see the emotion in his face as well. They'll love him for that. They'll love him for that. What a goal. But you know what? The problem is, if you nail the flag to the mat, and look, some of you are saying you're still out. That's fine, because you know, if you say Ten Hag out, you're not enjoying this as much as I am, and many other people are, because you want the manager to be sacked. I've been in that position with Van Gaal. Van Gaal won some games after he'd been sacked, after I said Van Gaal out, and it's not the same. It's not the same. You know, you don't get what I've just got tonight because you want the manager to be sacked. I fucking loved that tonight. This to me is our best game of the season. Which isn't saying a lot. It says a lot about how shit we've been. But I've thoroughly enjoyed that. You know, if the goalkeeper doesn't make any mistakes, we win that game 3-0. done nothing wrong in this game outfield. Nothing went wrong. It was just mistakes. Sean Mills is going to be devastated and buzzing at the same time, says the mob. Paul Anderson's just gifted 10 memberships. You're a legend, Paul. And I'm from Argentina. I must be biased, but Garnacho is man of the match. But yeah, we'll get you player ratings. We're going to do that. We've got the fan forum with Faz and Ricky as well after the game. Will Ricky give Bruno credit? I think Bruno's been great tonight as well. I thought Rasmus worked hard until the goal, and then he's done that. This is what we needed to see from the lads, and it will make my night shift at work even easier. Oh, Tyler, I'm looking forward to Forest on Saturday now. I'm like, pick the same team again. We've got a week's break before Wigan in the Cup. Let's take the Cup seriously. You know, it's something to build with. I think this season's basically done in a way. I do. I think the season's basically done. 9 minutes to be added on. You know, we're out of Europe. We're not going to get in the top 4, I don't think. But beating Villa helps us. I don't think we're going to get in the top 4, but we can get in the top 6. We can have a good run in the FA Cup and take it seriously. And I think those things are important. I mean, you look at that league table now, we're up to 6th, 31 points, puts us only 7 off Villa, beat Forest at the weekends. You know, you give yourself something to go for. It's a big, big win to get, because if you don't get it, you're in trouble. Something changes here tonight, says Nick. Once the rest of the injuries return, we'll make a solid push for a spot in Europe. And look, let's make the second half of the season interesting. Happy for Rasmus, says Ust. Sakin, welcome. Thank you for gifting a membership. Something changes here tonight. I love that from Nick. Something does change here tonight. We haven't won yet. We haven't won yet. We haven't won yet, no. But I've been, you know what? We talk about man of the match. I think Varane and Johnny Evans have played very well. Remember that block from Johnny Evans? Totally agree with you, Mark. When it comes to keeping the coach, there are many other things that should be taken care of first. It's an entertaining match, even for a Liverpool supporter. Very Merry Christmas is more. Well, we've probably done Liverpool a favour, haven't we, really? The fan forum will be great, though. The fan forum is going to be great. Disagree with your stance there. I was Ollie out and enjoyed every win because I'm the club first, not about being proved right, says Northeast. Here's Garnacho. He's going for a hat-trick, remember? Yeah, he was never going to pass that. He should pass there. Garnacho should pass there. I know he's going for a hat-trick, but it's 3-2. If Villa go at the other end, there's 8 minutes to go. He's gone down now, Garnacho. He's gone down. It's cramp. Imagine if Ten Hag got out all of his first choice signings, says Marcus. Just going back to what Northeast said, I just want to say, he says, disagree with your stance. I was Ollie out and enjoyed every win because I'm the club first. Yeah, I think that's a very honest answer, mate, but I don't think everybody feels like that. I think when you want the manager out, you almost, when you sense blood, I remember Van Gaal's last game and he could have got top 4 and I knew Mourinho was waiting to take the job. I mean, remember, Van Gaal got the sack having won the FA Cup and I wanted to win the FA Cup, but I must admit, the last game of the season, I think we were West Ham away, I was sort of thinking, I don't want to win this. A draw would be nice because I don't want Van Gaal to stay. So, and there will be Ten Hag outers that would have been knowing tonight Villa are good. Just lost to West Ham. There's a chance that he loses his job. Dan Gore's coming on. Youth coming on. Trusts the youth, you see. Thanks for all your super chats tonight, by the way. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We are I think we hit 1.8 million. In fact, we're only 20 away from 801,000. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Don't forget, we do every watch-along on the United Stand for Manchester United. I'm doing Everton-Man City tomorrow night, and that's football, actually. And then there's a double watch-along on Thursday night. Arsenal-West Ham, Brighton-Spurs, which is an interesting game for United because Brighton are near where we are. Eriksen and Garnacho go off. Both played very well tonight. Both played very well tonight. But I hope it's going to be the start of something for United. I do. I really, really do. I think we've played you know, for me, it all comes down to one thing. You know, benching McTominay and reorganising your midfield has made such a difference. We don't win this game with McTominay tonight because he can't do what Eriksen can do. And it stops Bruno playing where Bruno should play. Garnacho on the right, Rashford on the left, competition for places. I don't really care. I do like Anthony, but the competition for places is really important. I think this season, FA Cup, we've got to fucking go for the FA Cup. All out for the FA Cup. We've got to go for the FA Cup and we've got to see what we can do in the league. I think we're going to be a work in progress for the rest of the season, but the FA Cup, we just got to absolutely go for that. But you know what? I love Man United, and I'm happy with the performance tonight. I'm happy with it. Not perfect, but a lot better. And to be 2-0 down and come back, to me, I'd rather win. I know it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I'd rather we win this from behind 2-0, 3-2 than win it 3-0. And I know people say what you're on about goal difference, but it shows more character to be 2-0 down and to win this game than it does to win the game 3-0 and Villa be shit. Yeah, I think Varane back is a massive help. Imagine how good Garnacho could be if he puts that selfishness aside. But it's only 19, Manta. That's the thing, he's only 19. Watkins hasn't had a sniff. I didn't even know Watkins was playing, Glenn. It's a great point. Can you call my pal a Pratt, says Brad. Your pal's a Pratt. Paul Anderson gifted 10 memberships. Wow, I've enjoyed this watch along tonight. I think it's been great. This is almost making me emotional. The pressure has been insane, says Shahin. I know it's just one game, but sometimes one game can be a turning point. Well, I think it can be a turning point. I've got no control about whether it's going to be a turning point, but I think it can be a turning point because we've played so well compared to recent weeks. We haven't had to scrap for it. .97 minutes. I tell you what as well, I felt really relaxed. I think that in itself shows you how much we deserve to win this game, that we've been 3-2 up for well over 10 minutes. And I've never really felt like Villa were going to get back into it. And I know they probably could, and people would say you're jinxing it. And I'm not saying Villa can't get back into it, but I think that we've just played with an authority in the second half. I mean, let's have a look at the stats at half full time, basically. 13 shots to 10, 7 shots on 4. They've had a bit more possession. But I think that tells a bit of a lie for Villa, really. I feel that we fully justified this. And if anything, I think Villa getting 2 goals, it's a bit like the Forest game, isn't it? Forest were 2-0 up after 5 minutes, and I think they think, oh, what do you do? Maybe we need to sit back a little bit. But Villa's game plan really hasn't worked. Seeing the players so happy for Rasmus, that's the team spirit we need, says Brock. .30 seconds. Keep it down the other end. Don't do anything stupid. Delo's had a good game as well, playing out of position. .99th minute. Interesting. I was reading Kevin Beth at half-time saying the team shouldn't have been booed off at half-time when really they were playing quite well. Don't forget to do the player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I'm really... You know what? Player ratings has been bloody miserable, hasn't it, for a long time. But player ratings tonight will not be miserable. Man United win 3-2. Garnacho and Højlund embrace the future of Manchester United, maybe, but the goal scorers tonight, certainly. It's been an absolute pleasure to spend this evening with all of you watching what is without doubt Manchester United's best game of the season. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City fans might laugh at that, but that's how shit we've been this year. The most entertaining by a long way, but certainly the best performance from Man United in a long time. And it makes me actually excited about the next game. I actually think that we've stumbled upon something here. Garnacho on the right, Rashford on the left, Højlund. Eriksen, Bruno and Mainu for now until we get Casemiro back. I think we've stumbled on something. And hopefully we can work on that. But I'm so happy about that. Right, let's get it. It's Christmas. It's still Christmas. It's Boxing Day. I don't want to spend all night streaming. But let's get over to the match reaction. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average for the player ratings. Links in the video description of this video and that video. Big shout out to Boohoo Man, by the way. Don't forget to use Goldbridge as your code. You can get stuff like this. Loads of discounted stuff. Fantastic products delivered to your door. Let's get over to the match reaction. Rasmus, Rasmus, Rasmus.